Welcome to the Winds of Chaos, the Dungeons & Dragons campaign where you can influence the course of the game. You can harness the Winds of Chaos, this nefarious force of change sweeping across the lands of Gondara, by donating bits during the stream to help or hinder our heroes. For 300 bits, our heroes may find a useful, mundane, non-magical item. For 400 or 500 bits, you can buff the monsters that our heroes are facing with a minor or major mutation, respectively. Special thanks to our community's very own Bo the Distance for creating the random monster mutation table that we roll on for these redeems. For 600 bits, you can compel a player character's flaw. 700 bits grants inspiration to one player character. That's a reroll of a d20 during a clutch moment. And for 800 bits, you can make Flutter Die roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, our community's favorite. Flutter's character, Kiona, is a wild magic sorcerer. That means that she doesn't have full control over her arcane powers, and every now and then, well, you'll just have to wait and see what happens. Finally, subscribers to the Dungeon Masters channel, that's Twitch TV/GhostPepper, can harness the Winds of Chaos to blow a custom NPC or magic item of appropriate level into the party's path. Please DM me on Discord for more info. Oh, one last thing. If you're a regular supporter of this campaign and redeeming or subscribing or things like that are things that you do fairly regularly, please consider subscribing to our monthly coffee plan. We use the proceeds from that to go directly towards funding improvements to the game, music, artwork, subscriptions to different services that make our game that much better. Any monthly supporters get a free Major Monster Mutation, Wild Magic Surge, custom NPC, or magic item once per month. We really appreciate all of our coffee subscribers, all of our bits redeemers, and every single one of you who watches the game. Please enjoy the show. Oh.
Oh, hello!
Hey!
We're all here.
I apologize, Flutter. I had something covering your camera, so I didn't realize you weren't in your chair.
You're fine. Makes for a more dramatic entrance.
Yeah.
Don't you love this quadcast mic that you can just tap the top and it shuts off and turns back on? Like, it's so good. And you can even see really
convenient.
Good.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you can see it down there in the corner of my thing, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I saw you turn it off and turn it back on. It's a really easy way to tell if you're muted or
I
not.
use it more than actually muting my OBS anymore. Like
Yeah.
Because why not?
The only downside to it is people who are in a Discord call with you can't tell whether you're muted or not. So
Right. Yeah, that is the thing.
Hope everybody is doing super well in chat. I saw Megan was here. I see Pug is here. I see Pup Nobo is here. Don't you love Noburyu's new new Twitch name?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is such a good. It is such a good
you want to
rebrand.
still call you
Kurt
Nobo?
is here,
Now I'm going to call you
here.
Pup, though. Like, your name just changed in my head like that.
Yeah.
All right.
You have summoned Thronger Curb to this location. Why is he called Thronger Curb? I'm curious about that one. Okay. Well,
Stronger with
everybody.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's Nobo.
Oh,
why do you think I just call you Nobo? Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. Good to know, Pug.
Oh, that's amazing and also really weird. And I say that because oh no, is that our question today, Ghost Pepper?
That is our question today. What is the biggest mistake your character has ever made? So, welcome to the Winds of Chaos. We're having a blast here. Collie Flumps is unfortunately not on camera because he's feeling under weather from all the smoke in his area, which is legit because I am
bad.
I'm not feeling great with the smoke in my area, and at the current moment, it's not as bad as it is down where Collie Flumps is. Man, those forest fires, those forest fires. That's the way it is, man.
It is. I lived up there in the Pac Northwest for enough years to know that like every summer, even we weren't even that close to anywhere that was like that, and we'd still get the smoke and the ash sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
it travels far. It travels far. So, welcome everybody to our weekly D&D live stream. We're on episode 83. Is that right? 83? That's what I said.
Yes, that is correct.
That's what I put it as. So
Yeah.
here's hoping that's right.
Oh yes.
Finals here, nice. Yeah, so
Oh,
we are continuing the adventures of the Warg Slayers, aka the Discretionaries, even though no one will call them that.
Look, Poodle's mom calls us that, okay?
Yeah.
This,
Right,
this
that's
party-
all that matters. Literally.
This
All
party
that
has
matters.
many names. The name they've been given in game is the Warg Slayers. The name they've chosen for themselves is this Discretionaries, and their out of character name within the viewer community here is the Windbags of Chaos.
Do you
It's
guys
fine.
think if we go to level 20, do you guys think by the time we hit that we will at some point be discretionary, or are we just still gonna it's
No.
gonna be nonsense the whole way?
No, there will be nonsense the whole way. I guarantee.
You guys, every
There's no
every time the situation comes up to be stealthy or discretionary or not shoot your big musket.
Yeah, Poodle, who we've specifically had discussions with about holding on to that shot because we're not sure how we're getting
He's
into
gotten better.
situations sometimes.
He's gotten better.
I
He's
feel
He's
like
gotten better.
I
Yeah.
feel like he's gotten better, but I don't know if he actually has gotten better.
Right, but
Just in
also
my head,
has-
he's
has alarmingly, in the last couple of episodes, revealed that maybe there's some regression going on.
God, it's true. He's going back to his roots.
Bard, thank you so much for
Bard.
those 69 nice bits. Yeah,
Nice.
so before we jump into things, I've got our roleplay question of the week. And if we hit the QOTD command, you can see what the question of the week is, and we would most definitely be interested in hearing about what your answer is for a D&D or other TTRPG character that is near and dear to your heart. So the roleplay question of the week is, what is your D&D character's greatest mistake? And while our players are thinking about their answer to that question, we're collecting answers from the chat. Oh, Pug. I think I know, though. I think I know. Yeah. So while they're thinking about that and we're seeing what chat has to say, I've got some thank yous to distribute. First of all, thank you to our coffee subscribers for the month of August. Those were Bard Owl, Bruce Campbell Soup, and ATM Zero. Your contribution is what is enabling us to do some of the really cool things that we do on this stream. We can use it to buy some in-game assets like maps and extra books that let us do some extra neat things in this game. What else did I want to say about that? Just thank you. We really appreciate it. That's about it. I had a moment. It's been a long day of teaching, man. So second thank you goes out to Bo the Distance and Starborn Striker. They are our resident rules lawyers. Anytime we are unclear on what the rules say in a given situation, which can happen sometimes when you got a game with as many interlocking rules and systems as D&D, Bo and Striker look it up for us and let us know what the rules are as written, and then maybe or maybe not we will follow it. Finally, thank you number 3 goes to Vinyl Stencil, who organizes whenever chat does the bits redeems for our game here. Anytime there's a Wild Magic Surge, or players find a useful mundane item, or things like that, Vinyl Stencil collates those and shoots them to me in a direct message so that I can focus on continuing with the game. Nobo, all redeems and alerts should be disabled. I disabled all of them already. Cult Totem should not be enabled. And in fact, I'm looking at it right now and it's paused, so it shouldn't be enabled. Weird, because I'm looking at my Twitch dashboard and they're all paused right now. So they shouldn't be doing anything. That is very strange. Anyway, what do we have in chat for our question of the week, which is, what is your D&D character's greatest mistake? Bard Owl, go have a lay down. Go take care. Rest easy. Bye. Yeah, we love you.
Yeah.
Haven't had enough sessions for it? Well, LaCrew, you gotta fix that. We got Zerp here. Hey, Zerp.
We have so many times to look forward to make so many mistakes.
Yeah, there are many mistakes. There are many mistakes to be had. What is Zerp's D&D character's greatest mistake? Not murdering Pugrim. Oh no, Zerp. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Oh no. Okay. Zerp the Bear Barbarian's greatest mistake is joining our party. He didn't know what he was signing up for. All right. Well, let's hear from our players. What are some of our characters' biggest mistakes? Who wants to go first? I'll do the teacher thing. Woof! Thank you for volunteering.
We're just fucking silent.
I think it's very brave of you to lead the way.
Oh, okay. There's not much that Monster probably considers mistakes, aside from things that have happened with this group of people who... Maybe her biggest mistake was she didn't just turn around and walk away at that first fight. No, but she probably believes it's not finding some way to save her dad, even though that's basically would have been impossible given the situation.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Or I would say probably straight up telling Kiona that she ate her horse. That whole situation.
That was a mistake in many ways.
That was a pretty good one.
I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
And Kiona appreciates that.
Yep. Even though it hurts.
She has a negative one in wisdom.
She just has put it in a box in her mind and shoved it into a corner somewhere.
All right. What about Foodle's greatest mistake?
Okay, well, there is something. Oh, shoot. Well, there's something that happened semi-recently while the party was in the desert. And I wonder if we got this question before this happened, because I think Foodle's answers changed. Foodle made a huge tactical error that almost got his party killed, and he thinks about it a lot, and he's very worried about it. So, yeah. He actually has a reminder of it. Anyway.
When did that happen?
Well, I don't want to go into it too much. I don't think, because
You don't want to expose yourself too much.
Well, I think it'll probably come out during the in the game a little bit rather than out of game. So,
okay.
But anyway,
so we could. Well, let's save that one for later then. Kiona.
This is a tough question. Kiona also doesn't have a whole lot of things that she thinks were mistakes. So I think that for her, she kind of regrets going off on Foodle that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's, super minor, but I really feel like she doesn't feel like she's done anything else really wrong. Or that she could have done better if she had, you know what I mean? I just don't think that that's, in general, she feels like things have gone well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So no mistakes then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. But yeah, she feels bad about exploding on Fudo that time.
Okay. Yep. We got some
that was
more.
Super brutal.
We got some more answers from chat. Efima still thinks her biggest mistake was leaving her family when the goblins attacked. Zerps's what is Zerps's character's name? I never caught that in Colley's campaign. But anyway, Zerps's character's second greatest mistake would have been not fighting Thalon when he insight checked you. Yeah. When you get insight checked by somebody else in your party, it's like, time to shut this person up forever. And then Darfin cared about someone, but didn't tell them before they were killed in the war. He thinks he's made a lot of mistakes, but that's one of the biggest. Aw.
Huh.
Okay. Excellent. Well, with that, we are ready to continue. If you hit the, I'll hit it in chat here. If you hit the WOC recap command, WOC recap, and click that link to the World Anvil, our very own Wolf has very kindly written out a brief recap of the most recent couple of episodes. If you want a quick refresher. But after having made your way through and then out of the burning prison tower, with very little to go on for Darfin's fate, the three of you decided to somewhat split up. I don't know if all three of you are going your separate ways, but I know that there's a couple different directions that you're going in order to investigate what really happened at the old tower, and perhaps you hope just what Darfin's fate may have been. So I think we're gonna start. Why don't we start with? Can
I just interject? After we got the list, we might
Yeah.
have discussed a little bit more to our plan.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Well, let's take a look at that list. Let's just give me 1 second. I'm getting
This is a heck of a list. I don't know. If Shogun's
right.
lurking
I
or
feel
not,
like I was
I'm getting
gonna.
some things set up here. Let's see if we switch over. So I forgot how much bloody work streaming and
And DMing.
running and DMing is. And it is not showing up on. There it is. Okay, so yeah, this was the list that you acquired from the sort of reception desk, for lack of a
froze, by
better
the
word,
way.
of the prison. Pardon me.
Oh, everyone's
cameras
frozen, including
cameras
me.
froze. Oh
Oh,
my goodness. Okay,
because you clicked off.
because I clicked
There
off.
you are.
It
How
didn't.
foolish.
It wasn't like that before, but now it's gonna be like that. Okay.
Cool.
I see.
Cool.
You know what I do? I don't know.
Let me
I don't
see
know
if
if
I
it
can
works
do
for you,
this.
Ghost.
Does that work?
But what
Yeah.
works for me, and it'll mess
Yeah.
up your cameras if you're not already. But full
Yeah.
screening it, I can click off.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's not the way it works for you. Okay, never mind.
I
We
kind
tried.
of have it set up in a way where I can like actually look at you while. So I don't have it full screen so that I can look at you at the same time.
I see. Okay,
Hmm.
gotcha.
So I like to look Wolf dead in the eyes as I'm
Yeah,
rolling nat 20s against him.
that's
Uh,
fair.
Look, there's nothing that sets my heart aflutter more than looking into your eyes, Ghost Pepper.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. I love it when people use the word flutter.
There's nothing that sets
a
my
great
stomach aflutter more. Okay, but this was the list that you managed to find of the people who kind of registered themselves with the bottom floor guards inside the prison. So these were the people who signed in to visit the ambassador or the high priest that day. And so you're all kind of crowding over this list and looking over it.
And Kiona says, "Oh look, it's Shiral Shadeheart."
Oh yeah.
Why does
Because
this
she
say,
can read. Fuck you.
Why does this say concerned citizen? I don't believe that for a second.
Right.
Oh really?
I'm not
He
sure. It
was
does
so
seem a little
helpful.
weird. But why would he be here for this?
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should go see him. Who else is
To
on
be
here? that
fair,
looks weird?
they were using his tunnels to transport slaves through. So maybe he wanted to have a little chat with the high priestess.
Yeah. Wait. Also, doesn't he offer like nighttime services? Maybe the elves needed some entertainment or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but that ain't him coming over here then.
True. True. Yeah, I guess there would have been some other names on the list. Okay, well, wait. One of these names, I swear I recognize. I remember the first time, well, maybe not the first time, but one of the times when we were talking to the king, we met somebody named Yashara. Is that the same person, the royal seamstress here?
Oh,
She was
right.
We were in like the back room, and there was like a big table, and there was, Chancellor Valora.
Yeah, cause she was working on his clothes, right?
I think so.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. But I guess, why would she be here?
Well, I mean, it is a bunch of like official diplomats. Maybe somebody had a repair that needed to be done or something.
Oh, true.
You know, we did come away with a piece of cloth that we don't know where it came from. Maybe we should pay
Right.
her a visit and ask her about it.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I could do that. Is it okay? You know, I'll go with you. We'll go to Fiddlebeaks and then I'll go check out what Yashara was up to. Do you guys have that piece of cloth? I could maybe take it to her. Maybe she knows whose it was.
I think that'd be wise.
Okay.
And Mazra
Um,
will give him the cloth. She probably wrapped it in like a handkerchief or something.
So, you two are at Findlebeaks. I'll go talk to Underlord, and then Mazra, you want to help me out with Shiraz after that?
Sure. But you listen to me. If Underlord tries to bully you, you tell him where to shove it.
All right. And
Okay.
You got this.
they can part. Oh wait. Okay. What?
You got this.
Oh, thanks.
Andrew
you.
believes in you.
I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Andrew.
Andrew.
And as you all go your separate ways, we are first going to follow Kiona
Oh no.
as she makes her way through the city streets down to the common, the great field, sort of inside the city of Lysantia itself, where the caravan has been permitted to park and sort of set up their little community for the winter. You approach the small pup tent that leads into it is a deceptively humble portal leading into the grand estate compound of the Unbroken Circle of Mages. 2 guards standing on either side of the tent flap that's currently hanging closed, and they both regard you from deep-seated eyes peeking out of the shadows of their masked helmets, looking at you with some recognition briefly before turning their eyes back forward in a blank 1,000-yard stare. And you've become accustomed to this as sort of the signal of like, oh, it's you. Yeah, you can go in.
Yep. She'll just nod and keep going.
Okay.
Is,
And the guards
is-
pay you no mind as you peel back the tent flap and duck under and crawl into the tent, which of course inside the tent is this massive, spacious outdoor space with a grand sort of open courtyard villa standing before you. You see the crumbling tower of the library where Eladier works off in the distance, and a number of Unbroken Circle mages in their humble, simple gray robes, milling about the open courtyard, admiring the fountains and the plants and the flowers and the trees. Some of them merely sitting with their little portable scribe tables, scribing away at copying some ancient tome or writing out a spell scroll or whatever it is that they do here.
She's going to approach and ask, where can I find Underlord today?
And seemingly, as soon as you speak his name, as has happened a number of times, from behind you, you hear the dwarf's familiar, soft-spoken voice. Yes, Kiona, what can I do for you today?
Mr. Underlord. I have a couple of questions, and maybe was wondering if you could deep blue me again. Deep blue if I me.
Oh,
Well, you know what I mean.
are you blue right now? Well, I can see that you're blue, but since you are a tiefling, I perhaps assumed that it was.
Well, if it's not worth it, don't
sense.
worry about it. I've been this way for a while now.
Well, no, we've achieved something of a greater understanding of how this works since you were here last, and I think it can just simply, and he kind of waves a hand, and your blue flesh fades away into what color would you
Where
say
is
she
it?
like
Hold on.
red?
She has she's probably a red color.
Probably red, yeah.
hold on a minute. Yeah, I have a picture actually, but she is generally, as a dragon and anything else that has different colored skin, it's red.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. How's that, Vigo?
Well, thanks. It's just kind of purple. It's actually just a lighter blue, or a more purple instead of blue. That's what it is.
Oh my god, are you serious?
So Undrelor just kind of squints at you and turns his sort of bald shaved head slightly to the side. Curious. Why?
Can I just?
Surely there was something
It's on
else
Discord. Just
that you've come to see me about today?
yeah, actually, she kind of like inside of her head makes note like not to lead off with stupid things like that in the future. And she and she's like, well, yeah, I got a couple of questions. There was an incident, and we're looking for answers, trying to figure out how to go forward on it. And I was wondering if you could help with some things.
Now, Undrelor kind of strokes his close-trimmed beard. So unique for a dwarf so unique for a dwarf to have sort of a very short beard like this. Normally they're very proud of their long flowing beards. What sort of help are you looking for?
Well, there was first of all, I was wondering if there's any way we can track somebody if we got one of their objects. Because
Yes.
we're looking for a friend. And then I just was wondering if you knew anything about a certain kind of magic and what kinds of spells it might have been. There was something in the place. It was transformation magic, I think. Which one is that called? Is it transformation?
Transmutation.
Transmutation magic. Is that the one?
Yes. Yes. Oh, most interesting. Would this have anything to do with the burning tower that you lot ran into? Mm-hmm. Well, we may be able to do something for you. And he turns around and kind of signals with his hand to in a shooing motion, and even some of the mages who had their heads bowed, looking at their scribing tables, or how their backs turned to you while they were looking at a flower, almost seem to sense when he's waving them away, and they just quietly get up and skeeter out of there, and to shuffle away in a rustle of robes to go about some business elsewhere at their leader's bidding. A few of the mages stay behind, each of them appearing quite old and quite weazened, many of them with sort of long white beards, cutting a classic wizardly look. And you recognize some of them as being among the most senior mages of the Unbroken Circle. Some of them who were at your ill-fated when they ran that experiment on you to see, if they just pumped you full of arcane energy, what would happen. Some of them were there.
Kiona doesn't like these people very much.
Do you have the possession of the person you want to find?
I think that we can agree that Kiona probably took it with her to do this specifically because of this.
Sure.
So yes, she'll pull Darfin's sword out of the bag of holding.
Excellent. Oh, it's a very beautiful weapon indeed. And I see, and he reaches out as if to touch the crystalline blade, but his hand sort of backs off a little bit. And enchanted with powerful magics as well.
No
Very
doubt.
well. And he turns around and kind of beckons with a finger. Follow me this way. And he leads you deep into the center of the Unbroken Circle's sprawling extraplanar estate. Out of one courtyard, through a building, all the way down, exiting the other side of that building, and into another narrow and long courtyard. This one quite overgrown by vines and wildflowers, and not as meticulously kept and cultivated as the one that you're used to seeing. Undrelor leading you in behind, and then all the other mages kind of following behind you, all the other senior mages, not saying a word, just simply following behind. Undrelor stops in front of a fountain at the far end of the courtyard. The sculpture on top of the fountain is a nude, masculine, bearded figure seated in a pose of deep thought. You can't get a look at the figure's face because it's covered by a cloth mask. It's stone, right? But it's like chiseled out as if there's a cloth mask sort of dangling in front of his face, hanging from a rope tied around his brow. And on that cloth mask is a depiction of a single large reptilian eye. This figure is a storm giant, Undrelor begins to explain. Greatest among all the giants and chief in the ordering, the social order of giant kind. Eldrigo raised the storm giants up among all giant kin to be his chosen agents in this world, and bestowed great powers of prescience and divination upon them. The last of the storm giants fell in the war against Grumsh. Legend says that they gave their lives to wake the god of ruin's chosen warriors from their living nightmare, having foreseen that their sacrifice would ultimately lead the orcs to rebellion. But their extinction threw the ordering into chaos and led to the downfall of giant civilization. This individual was named Verdir, one of the last storm giants, who is a great teacher to the dwarven people. And according to legend, the founder of our order. Now, most scholars dismiss him as a mythical figure, and we like to keep it that way. After all, every mage's circle needs to keep a few mysteries, yes?
I'm sure.
Now stand back, please. Once you take a step back, Undralor speaks a phrase in Jotun, which you have heard this before. It's the language of the giants, and the stone giants that you encountered spoke to each other in this language. When he speaks this phrase in this foreign language, the water in the basin of the fountain drains out with a soft sucking sound, and then the whole fountain opens up in a not dissimilar way to the obelisk in Blycross, opening up to lead down into the catacombs, revealing a staircase plunging down into darkness. Undralor holds a hand out, palm up. He speaks a command word, and an orb of light appears, floating about a foot above his outstretched hand. He beckons for you to follow, and the whole procession moves down the stairs into the darkness. Now, like all storm giants, Eldrigo revealed powerful divination spells to Verdil to aid him in seeking truth in this world. Verdil, in turn, taught this magic to the founders of my order. But some spells, you see, are too powerful and ripe for abuse to be spoken of openly, even within the cloistered walls of the Unbroken Circle. Such a spell we are about to show you. The stairs lead down to a small chamber. I need other sounds. Is this the right one? Yeah. Oh, this is the right one.
Kiona's having flashbacks during all of this. She's wishing against all hope, wishes that Manzar and Foodle were with her right now. She's a little bit terrified.
Yeah.
You're getting sort of a similar vibe. Like I know you're talking about flashing back to the catacombs under Blycross and how creepy that was.
Right.
And you're kind of getting similar but not the same vibes from this.
Right.
For instance, your passenger is not like thrumming in your chest.
Yeah.
At this, right? So you're kind of at least secure in what is that? That's a little bit
There's
unpleasant.
like a bell. It's like one of those little.
Is that?
It sounds like one of those bells
Like a
that you rub
drone.
around the rim.
Yeah.
There is, yeah. It's a little bit unpleasant. I don't like it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is what I was going for. The voices. This soundscape is literally called "This Place is Spooky."
Oh God.
Cool.
The stairs lead you down to a small chamber. 2 stone channels carved into the walls carry the water drained from the fountain above down and are filling into a granite bowl in the center of the room. And the bowl is just finishing being filled up as you enter. Please, Kiona, stand back and simply observe. The possession, please.
We will have it back. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. She'll hand it over.
Okay. And he takes the sword from you carefully and moves over to the granite bowl and places it down on what looks like an altar top in front of it. The wizards all array themselves around the granite bowl. The light, the orb of light floating above Angelor's hand, dissipates and disappears, plunging the chamber into darkness. You hear the voices of the elderly wizards begin to chant a low, droning chant in the Jotun language. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, a light begins to emit from the surface of the pool in the granite bowl. It begins to shimmer and shine with a dull gray, ethereal light as the chanting picks up and picks up and picks up. The light emanating from the bowl intensifies. As you look into its surface, you can swear that you can see places you've never been but seem very familiar. Faces you've never seen, but you could swear that you know well. Amid all the shifting visions, at one point, you see 6 eyes staring back at you, and the light suddenly fades. Angelor's orb of light returns over his hand, and you can see that some of the mages are slouching, hands on their knees, leaning against the wall in fatigue. Angelor's brow and clean-shaven pate are marred by beads of sweat. Oh. Unfortunately, Miss Kiona, he's mopping his brow with a rag, the spell appears to have failed.
But why?
Well, this happens very rarely. So only 3 possible explanations. 1, the person you are looking for is dead. 2, the person you are searching for is no longer on the material plane. Or 3, he is neither dead nor has he left the material plane, but in some way, he is perhaps enchanted to protect him from powerful divination magic, to prevent him from being found. But this would be profound indeed.
Okay. Well, I guess that is how it is. What kind of spells do you think? Transmutation magic? The fire, and
Transmutation.
there was a creature maybe with claws because it had killed a bunch of the guards up there. but I don't know enough about magic and spells to know what kind of spell they might have used, but it was all over in the one place.
I have known of spellcasters, particularly versed in transmutation magic. Spellcasters who have been able to transform their bodies
Right.
into terrible forms of pure destruction.
What kind of spell is that?
Oh, it is a very powerful one indeed.
Would somebody like Matilda be able to cast such a spell?
I would like to think no. However, that estimation would be based on the carefully cultivated public image of the High Priest. And as we have discovered of late, there's a great deal about High Priest Matilda that we did not know.
What about a person like that, Shiraz Shadeheart?
Entirely possible. There is a violent darkness inside of him. I cautioned you before about him. You did not heed my warning.
I'm not sure it's him exactly, but I don't know what is about it. Either way, do you have any idea, like, what specific spell that might have been that was cast up at the top of that tower?
That is a very good question. But I do not have time to look through 5e tools to find it. There was in ancient times when the rules of magic were in their 3rd edition. I cannot speak for the current 5th edition of the laws of magic, but in the 3rd edition there was a spell invented by a powerful and ancient mage named Tenser, which he called his transformation. This may be what you describe, could be similar to that.
Thank you. I'll pack that away and see if I can find anything more about it later.
Megan, thank you. I have no idea if
Megan.
that spell even existed. Like that's the spell that popped into my mind, but I was like, oh no, what if it doesn't exist in this edition?
Oh god.
So, anything else I can do for you, Kiona?
I guess that's probably it. I guess, is there anything I can do for you?
There's a great deal that you could do for me.
Is there anything specifically that you currently...
I would like you to meet with our mutual friend, Eladir, sometime. Once you have located your friend and resolved this quest of yours, and perhaps deliver a report on how your own studies have been progressing. If you have learned anything new about your unique capabilities.
All right. I can do that. She has a little post-it note in her head, says when Darfin thing is done, report to Eladir, bring Mazra in caps, in like all caps. If that's everything I can do, then I'll be off.
This is all I ask for. Best of luck to you. I wish we could have been more assistance.
Thank you. And she will out as fast as she can without looking suspicious.
Get out. Get out of there.
Making sure she takes Darfin's sword with her.
Yep. All right. And from there, we can move on to Foodle and Mazra on their way to Findlebakes.
I'm so hungry. I can't wait. You know what I was thinking, Mazra? We should probably get some for Kiona too. She's gonna be hungry after whatever bullshit she has to put up with from Underlore, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you know she likes pineapple on her Pete's pies? I'll just put some on. She
I
can pick it
wouldn't.
off. We're gonna find out.
We'll find out. I love it.
You'll
She
find
doesn't have it,
out.
I'll eat it.
How about we get 2 or 3 large ones and then get one without it, and then if there's any left over, you can give it to your family.
Oh yeah.
Mazra, always on point, you know.
This is why we need you, Mazra. Oh.
Right.
Oh look, there it is.
So you're making your way through the through a slightly lower key, but nonetheless like decently okay, well off district of the city. You recognize as a craftsman's district. Pardon me. Near the river. And Findlebakes, that now familiar bakery, is there, and you see a now familiar small child, just approaching sort of, you know, the lower age of being a toddler, sitting on the front step, mowing down on a heel of bread. The child appears to be, you know, part orc, part elf. And he looks up at you as you approach with dazed eyes filled with quiet awe and a little bit of hunger.
Glad to see you've graduated from Raw Flower Kid.
Oh yeah. Very advanced.
He just keeps eating like he doesn't understand what you're saying to him. He's just like just mowing down on that bread.
Always a pleasure.
And
Can Foodle smell the food?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. The smell of freshly baked goods wafts out the door as you open it.
I also imagine that as we walk in, Foodle and Mazra, well, and Kiona would too, but I imagine all of us reek of smoke. So
Oh
we're
god,
just
yeah, we
very
haven't showered or
barbecue
anything.
smelling, like
Yeah.
hickory smoked.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys smell like you've been camping for 2 weeks. Yeah. So you walk into the store and it's a little bit. It's not too busy. Like the last time you were here, there was like lines everywhere of people wanting Pete's pies. You do see a couple people in the simple sort of sackcloth robes of the Dreamer cult. Who has, had been driven underground, but recently with all the hubbub that's been happening and that sort of dividing line between human and elf, they've been back out in the open, and they're just quietly purchasing a number of Pete's pies, whom of course the creator of Pete's Pies, well, the credited creator, whom is not the real creator, but the credited creator of Pete's Pies as Sleepy Pete, but the Dreamer cult calls him Peter the Dreamer.
Oh god, that's right.
Yeah. They've like almost ascribed this saint-like status to him when he's just a guy who sleeps all the time.
Is Findlebeak around?
Findlebeak is manning the counter, and he's sort of engrossed in speaking to these guys, and he doesn't notice you at first when you walk in. When you open the door and it sort of dings the bell, he shouts out, "I'll be with you in a minute."
You think he'll remember us? Probably, right? I mean, it's only been like a month.
I mean, we did almost kill him.
Yeah, I think he'll remember.
And there you go, 2 Pete's Pies to go. You enjoy that now, don't eat it all at once. Although if you do, you know where to get some more. Bye now. And he waves off the Dreamers as they turn to leave, and they're sort of munching on their little handheld Pete's Pies. And the orcish baker's ex-pirate turned baker, his eyes fall upon you, and a broad, toothy, tusky grin cracks his face into, "Oh, well. Look who it is again, darkening my doorstep. What the hell's can I do for you? Yeah, aye? What do you want?"
We have had a hell of a day, and we need some of your finest Pete's Pies.
Well, for me best customers who've almost killed me,
Poodle doesn't laugh. That's just me.
couple of Pete's Pies coming right up.
Yeah, and wait, all of them have pineapple, or Poodle's like looking up at Mazra?
Pineapple.
No, okay. So wait, one of them doesn't.
Huh. Never heard of pineapple on Pete's Pies before.
Well, I have if you have a couple minutes, I have a very interesting potential business proposition for you that includes pineapple.
Business proposition. First, you attempt to murder me unborn child, and then you want to enter business with me. You're a true orc, Mazra Greenstone. I like you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make
he
sure.
He looks at Foodle and he's like, "I'm still not sure about you." But
Yeah,
anyway,
fair enough.
Mazra.
Well, I'm proud of you. You've turned over a new leaf.
Well, that's high praise coming from such a low man.
Oh my god.
Miss Greenstone, what kind of proposition do you have for me?
So we're working on starting up what I would call a higher end tavern.
Oh,
I was wondering if you'd be interested in franchising your Pete's Pies, but
Hmm.
let's call it maybe a gourmet version.
Aye.
So
What do you have in
I
mind?
thought
What
you
makes
may-
it gourmet?
Pineapple.
whatever those. Think artisan cheeses and things
Wow,
of that
I
nature.
guess.
Aye.
Yeah.
Exotic ingredients.
Like pineapple.
I mean, I'm not above trying the pineapple. I'm just saying it seems quite unusual to me.
Okay,
But
what
I'll
about
give it a try.
mushrooms?
I thought the
no.
two of you could have a bit of a chat about some potential ideas.
Aye.
And at some point, if you're interested, we could discuss how the. My plan is to make quite a good amount of money, so you would in turn also be making a good amount of money.
Well, shall I tell you this? I think I might be interested if we have it down in writing that you use only Findlebake's crust, which I will of course sell to you for a discounted price, and we can explore making a higher quality crust for your gourmet Pete's Pies. So you only use Findlebake's crust, a special crust that we agree upon. And we take, let's say, 20% of proceeds.
You go for 17.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay, let's see.
Do you have any of that like fancy pink salt that Shiraz Shadeheart has? The people go crazy for that stuff.
Finding a D20.
I'm not
Apparently
a
it's
fan of
from
pink
some-
salt myself. Salt should be white. I'm sorry, but pink salt just looks like he's added some sort of food dye to it.
Right? I mean, I don't even. Apparently, it's from some famous mountain range, but I've never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah,
I got a 19 total.
imported.
A 19 total. That's a pass. You have yourself a deal. 17%.
All right. We can talk more later. I was actually wondering if your lovely wife was around. I'd love to say hi to her while you and Foodle have a little chat about some potential pie types.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Well, you know her. She's old Tink is in the back doing the real work.
All right, Foodle, I'll be right back.
Okay. Goldrill told me all about. Apparently, there's like a southwestern style. We could have corn
Aye.
and like some beans, maybe. You know, just to spice things up.
interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
You know, forget the
corns and
salt.
beans.
Forget the
Aye.
pink salt.
Well, that might be an option then. Might be something to
So
consider.
So Foodle and Fiddlebeak, they're
Yeah.
deep in conversation.
Yeah. And Findleby will occasionally just get in a couple digs on Foodle. But he treats it like a sport. He treats it like a game. You know? if he can find a way to get a little bit of a dig in on Foodle.
And Foodle kind of.
Yeah. And then Mazda goes in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes no effort to try and sneak up or anything. Just
Yep. And so you make your way through the door into sort of the back area, which, as you know from last time, is this combination storage room and, bakery, kitchen kind of setup, where all the baked goods are actually baked in the ovens, out of view of the storefront, and then sort of thrown through the window into the storefront. And you see that the perpetually scally faced half-elven wife of Findlebeak is working away in the back with some rather rough looking new employees, whom, if you roll an insight check for me,
I got a total of a 6.
a total of 6. Yeah, you're kind of like looking at these guys like, huh, where did she get these guys? Not the type that you would expect to be working at a bakery. And so she's in there working away, and you just hear her gruffly, without looking up from where she's, whacking a ball of dough with a rolling pin, spitting up flour everywhere. She just grumbles, "What?"
Hey, it's me.
She looks up at you and frowns, which you recognize as, not so much a frown as just a neutral look when it comes to Tinkerbell. What do you want?
I have business to discuss with you.
Oh? What kind of business?
Not bakery related business, other business.
Other business. And as soon as you mention not bakery related business, but other business, one of the rough looking employees reaches behind his back for something and takes a step towards you. But Tinkerbell kind of holds up a hand to caution him away. Don't bother. This one would drop you like that sack of flour before you even draw. Or melt your eyeballs with that new divine fire of yours. And she's looking straight at you now. Word of your exploits travels far these days, Mazra. You might want to talk to the gnome about picking a new name for your little gang.
Well, yeah, I think you know enough about him to know it's hard to change his mind once he's made it up. But actually, the things you hear are...
He reminds me of Findlebeak that way. I think those two deserve each other.
I can agree on that. But it's the things you hear that I'm actually here about. We are doing a bit of investigating when it comes to the current unpleasantness with the High Priestess, and as I'm sure you've been made aware, the fire that's been happening in the tower.
Why did you do this? There was a fire.
There was, but from what we can tell, we think that there was some sort of magic or sabotage involved. It was certainly not an accident. We are...
Who do you think is involved then?
We're not sure yet. We're doing some investigations into people who were there at the prison. And I was wondering if we could possibly hire you and your people to keep an ear out and to possibly see what you could find on certain people.
You want me to help you gather some information about this attack on the Temple of Light?
I have some incentives for you.
Those are going to have to be some pretty big incentives. Those armored enforcers of the elves have been sticking their nose in my business a lot too much lately.
Things
Not
have been getting
exactly.
intense in the city.
I'm not exactly hot on the idea of helping Bem out.
Fair. Aside from monetary compensation, my group's interest is not so much in assisting the guard per se. It is more about the fact that if this situation is not dealt with, it's very likely that this city and this kingdom are going to be plunged into some, let's just say, deep shit. And I'm sure you don't want your family and your business stuck in the middle of that.
I mean, a little bit of chaos is all that's needed for a business like mine to thrive, but you know what? I like you. So because it's you asking, I'll do it. But I'm going to need money, and I'm going to need one other thing.
Yes.
You and your friends are going to owe me something.
And that would be.
I haven't decided yet, but I'll let you know when I do.
Would I be able to say that I owe you something and not my friends, since I'm the one making the deal?
No deal.
Very well.
She holds out a flour-stained hand for a shake.
Ozra holds out a somewhat sooty hand.
And both hands come away gray.
Just like their morals.
Look at that. It's like symbolism. Wow.
Talk about people who understand each other.
This
And
is
then once
this D&D campaign is art.
You can't plan that. I mean, that's amazing.
Amazing.
So she'll when she's done, she'll head back up. She's
Yeah.
not one to stick
When
around and chat.
Tinkerbell is satisfied with you, she sort of nods her head towards the door that you just came through. Said, "Go rescue my husband for me."
Monster just chuckles and then heads upstairs, or heads into the front part.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be huge.
Right.
Stew in a
Stew.
Pete's pie. Yes.
Stew in the pizza pie.
You've never
Sounds
tasted my mother's
ridiculous.
stew. This
Sounds
is the thing.
ridiculous.
Poodle.
How
Bring
does
some by.
how
Poodle.
does the stew say inside the pizza pie? It's gonna leak all over the place.
It's, you could do a deep dish crust.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We just
like
gotta
a
get
Stromboli.
deeper dish.
we
Like
could have
a-
a discussion later on potential toppings. We'll have a meeting and we can hammer out all the details.
Yeah.
What if I were to fold the pizza pie in half
Wait.
The ticket.
and bake it that way?
What?
I would
Is that?
call it.
Can you do such a thing?
I would call it a calzone.
Whoa.
We could rename
Make
the
it-
business the Calzone Zone. And you just hear in the back, no.
I think you're onto something here, Findlebeak.
It would make it easier to eat on the go.
Yeah.
And there's like a sudden flare up. You remember that the oven is two-sided? There's like just a whoosh of flame and a gout of black smoke, and you hear more insistently from the back, no.
Okay, I can see you're busy. I guess we'll talk to you later.
I guess the answer's no to that one. But let's stick with the gourmet pizza pie for your new tavern.
Okay.
I'll meet with you again soon. to find
See you
more.
soon.
Are we taking?
Bye.
Are we taking? Are we taking? Literally taking pies with us? Or did we?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, what do
Food will
we
get
owe
pies?
him?
Yep. You got okay. Let's say a Pete's pie is 3 silvers a piece.
Okay. So Foodle will give Findlebeak 2 gold. Think about it.
What
about it.
happens?
It's like more than double what he's asked for.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, well, very well. I'll think about it. I slip the 2 gold into his lockbox, and he sends you away with 3 Pete's pies, 1 with
I thought
pineapple.
it was 4.
Oh, is it 4?
I think. Oh
Sure.
He
god, I
ordered
don't know.
multiple. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah, let's say it's 4 because you paid more than
Okay.
enough for it.
What happens if you put hot food in a bag of holding?
I don't know if it
Like,
retains its
what do
heat.
you mean?
I don't know if it
I
retains
know-
its temperature.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
like instantly go bad because it doesn't have access to any of the things? Like, wouldn't it be because you would
Well-
die because you would suffocate if you were in a bag of
Right.
holding, right? So,
Okay.
like, if there was
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
would
Okay,
food
well
be
then,
the same thing?
I don't think you can
Masha-
use a bag of holding to preserve food. But
Okay.
you got
Right.
you got 4 Pete's pies, and Findlebeak like inside the Pete's pie boxes. Like he's got these like broad flat boxes that he hands them out in. It's quite an incredible invention, really. But sort of tucked inside, he's actually, before you even paid him, he tucked inside like a bunch of like rolls and muffins and things like that, just as a bonus. And then inside the one with pineapple, or one of the ones with pineapple, they're inside the box flap lid. There's like an angry orc face sticking out its tongue, tauntingly.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take these back to my family. I'll leave the one without, because these 3, they've all got pineapple on them. The one without, I'll leave with you, because I think you're gonna meet up with Kiona, and I'm gonna head to the palace.
Yes, and we'll go. I'll find Kiona. We'll go to Shade Hearts, and
We
then
could have
meet
all
up.
just made a plan to meet up for the house for a quick dinner before we went off
That's
to do all the
true.
other things.
Good idea.
yeah,
Let's do that.
Since you guys were going to Findlebake's anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go eat.
Okay.
Maybe change clothes.
Yeah, Kiona, if she got back to the house before they did, she would have been doing that, like cleaning up.
Okay. So what are you
Okay.
guys doing? You're back home and just reconnecting? All right.
Grabbing some food.
Yeah.
Yep. So you
Eating some pies.
you meet up in the room that is to be your future tavern. There's a whole bunch of construction that's been happening there. You see like tools laying around and like cans of paint and piles of lumber and sort of like half assembled tables and a couple chairs, and the bar is sort of half constructed. The countertop isn't laid on it yet. But the work has finished for the day. It's late afternoon. The workmen have gone home. That was a nice, consistent soundscape. And then all of a sudden, what was that? Oh my goodness. But yeah, so you're kind of like settling down to eat in a partially constructed tavern room here.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Is it weird at all, as they're munching on the pizza? Is it weird at all that
What? The what?
Oh, sorry, the pizza
I don't know.
pie.
I don't know
a
what
good-
you're talking
that's a
about.
good point.
Pizza-
I don't
pizza
know what
doesn't-
came over me.
Pizza
have no
doesn't
idea what-
exist in D&D. What?
I apologize. We had pizza for supper. It was
Oh.
amazing. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah. Actually, I had a Hawaiian. Anyway, not the whole thing, but well, okay. So obviously, I want to talk to Yashara. Is it weird at all? It probably isn't, but is it weird at all that the treasurer was there?
I wonder that too. What do you think, Mazra?
I can see reasons why they might be, considering the high level of the prisoner there, but it seems a little suspicious. We could
Right.
certainly make inquiries.
Yeah. Do you
Maybe.
think?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking. Should I ask the king? Or possibly even the chance? No, because she said to keep low profile. Okay, never mind. What were you gonna say?
I was actually going to suggest that maybe we could speak with Valora quietly
Right.
and ask if she has any advice for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah.
good plan.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not a king or anything, but like I feel like if this had happened in my area and then there's this list with all the I mean, they must have this list too. So if they have like spies or anything and anyone on this list is acting weird, like, especially in their court, right? Like they would probably already know about it, or they'd have these people under watch or surveillance or something.
One would assume.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there's politics in the city that we're not privy to.
right.
Right.
I don't know if they have this list or not, but if you could get an audience with Valora, again, I say quietly, maybe find a reason to visit her that's not connected to this.
Right.
It may seem less suspicious if you're there by yourself.
Yeah. What would I be there?
Perhaps see if you could ask her about permits for taverns.
Oh, there you go. I like that. That's actually a really good question just on itself.
It's true.
It would be a reason to speak with her, and even if she's not the right person to discuss it with, it's plausible that you'd be ignorant about that.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I mean, ignorant in the fact that we're not aware of the laws of the city.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how this works.
I think I should probably tell you how the thing went with Underlore.
Oh yeah, what happened? How's the pineapple, by the way?
It's not really my thing.
Oh, okay. Mazra, that was a good call.
Look, I believe there are some people who will really enjoy this.
So he used Darfin's sword to cast a spell, but the spell didn't work. But
What was the
while
spell trying to do?
It was trying to find him.
Oh.
But Underlore said that could be one of three reasons why it failed. First, that he's dead, which I don't believe. I just don't. The second is that he's on maybe another plane of existence, which I have a note about. But the third is that he could be just, protected by some other kind of magic thing that prevents him from being seen, which is also likely or possible with Darfin. I don't know what kinds of protections he had for sure.
Well, do we know it would be him doing it, or is someone's potentially taking him captive?
Right, which is the other thing. But I need to tell you
Oh,
what I
yeah.
saw when the spell was being cast. Lots of things, but one thing in particular you might be interested in, which might make the second thing that could be. Well, anyway, it was the six-eyed guy.
Oh,
Was this some sort of premonition?
It was in a series of images that I could see when they were casting the spell, or trying to cast the spell.
ah.
So that second thing about maybe not being in this dimension, I feel like that's maybe not totally an impossibility.
Hmm, your point is taken.
Right.
Oh, and the spell at the top of the tower. He said he thought it might be some powerful transformation magic uh, that was named after some guy named Tensor, but it could transform him into something crazy. He said maybe that's something like what it was.
Hmm. You think maybe they used it?
Transmutation, not formation. I cannot get that
Hmm.
word. Sorry, guys.
Well,
It's okay. You're new. Athena's teachings, they'll settle in. Don't worry.
Maybe I gave you that Arcana proficiency too soon.
I know, right?
Look, our characters are better at a lot of things than I am. All right.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, for real. Yeah, that's
That's-
mostly
that's,
me,
uh,
not saying it right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's D&D, right? Your character's a
Right.
lot more competent and knowledgeable than you are.
Right.
Oh, thank goodness.
But
Well,
he said that it might take somebody quite powerful in the magic, and I asked if maybe Matilda would do something like that, and he didn't think she probably would, given her public persona. But then I asked about Shiraz Shadeheart, and he said that might be a possibility.
really?
Well,
I guess he was on the list.
right. So I don't know. Sure isn't looking good for Mr. Shadeheart, but I still want to go talk to him.
I think
Well,
it
okay.
was.
Here's a question though. If okay, I was thinking about this while Fiddlebeak was like babbling on about, the salt or whatever, because, nobody cares. I regret ever mentioning it. But if I was gonna break into that place, I wouldn't sign in, you know? Like, when we got there, the person behind the desk, we didn't even know there was someone there because they were dead, right? So
Right.
it's possible that no one on that list is necessarily suspicious, but they might still have information. Maybe they overheard something or, saw something or I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Mr. Shadeheart is just caught up in something, and I'm not sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there is something weird going on around him.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't seem to like gnomes, it has never added up to me. You know?
You know, Foodle, sometimes there are people who have irrational dislikes of a whole group of people for no reason.
Right.
Is the thing.
Foodle.
Hmm? Yeah, Shiraz, it's weird, right?
When was the last time you let a goblin send a message for you, Foodle?
Hmm. Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. Are you saying, wait, we should send a message to Undralore and ask him, you guys, I've been thinking about it. Kiona, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay, Voodoo's going to take out his notebook and he's completely changing the subject. And he's going to write down on a piece of paper and he's going to write down, should we ask Undralore about Erusian? And like hand that piece of paper to you guys.
Kiona will kind of look like at Mazra, and that's like she's surprised, but that's a really good question.
Like, is that too dangerous, or could it be helpful? I don't know.
What kind of the way I would are we writing this down, or we're in our own home? Are we
Write it down. Write it down.
okay? And it'll take a little while, but basically the gist of what she writes down is that the thing that we learned that they were trying to do with magic. I think it was like opening a portal? Is that what it was that we learned that they were trying to do? It was like, no, they were trying to like open a portal to like go to the past or whatever. So like, I think it would be wise.
Who is opening a portal to go to the past?
Ghost looks so confused.
No, it was what's her face? Fianan said that they were trying to like she was using the machine to try and
Open a portal?
open a portal, and I thought it was to like go back in time or something.
No.
Maybe I misunderstood that.
No. Opening a portal to
Another dimension.
Another dimension, yeah, another plane of existence,
close
which
enough.
she called
Yeah.
the Dreaming Dark.
Okay. Again, characters are smarter than their players. But just anyway, she writes that I think it would be wise to ask Underlore if he knows anybody that's researching this type of magic.
Oh.
We don't necessarily have to name names.
Right.
Like my kind of magic.
Kind of.
Wait, you can do that?
You know who else we should send a message to? Treebeard. Treeroot.
Tree root.
Yes.
Treebeard. Sorry, Bill, if you're here. I apologize.
You'll have to wait a long time for a response back if it's Treebeard.
That's the
Right,
next
for real.
campaign.
Go all the way to Middle Earth. But no, it may not be a bad idea because we know that he is unattached, at least as far as we know, and may have a less political reason to answer us.
Right.
Right. And what about wow, speaking of things our characters know. Fielding.
Although if we contact Treebeard, he may be able to send the message on to her.
That's true.
Right.
Just to remind you, Fieldine was away on her own little task and adventures the last time you were in Gurpok.
Right.
So you have reason to doubt whether a message would even reach her.
Sure.
Do we really need to follow up with Fielding? Because, like...
He just said we can't get a message to her, man.
Well, we can.
I
I didn't
know.
necessarily say that, but
Yeah, we can at least reach out to Treebeard, and if anybody knows where she is, it
Right.
would probably be him.
yeah.
I know, but, like, what... Above table, like, what was her deal? Because she was, like, getting elven stuff. That elven box that we recognized from, like...
Right. Well, we're dealing with an elven
Yeah.
delegation that's a psycho elven delegation too, so it would make sense to get in touch with Fielding at this.
Right, but it's a Ghost. Am I wrong in thinking that
Yep.
they're from separate kingdoms?
who?
Yeah.
Fieldine and whom?
No, the
The delegation.
delegation and the people
Yes.
who we eventually left.
Right.
At
Yes,
the beginning
because
of the
they're on the other
campaign.
side of the mountains.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Our
okay.
the elven city we stayed in is a totally different place.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Anyway,
The
sorry, I'm
the
getting
elven
distracted.
just for like lore's sake and your characters may be aware of this. They may not be, but they might be because it's common enough knowledge. It's like Ilian, which was the elven city where you stayed in, and in between sessions 1 and 2,
Right.
was kind of more like a colony. It was this, proud kingdom in its own right.
Right.
But
To us at
according-
level 2, it was amazing.
Yeah, but according to the elves who live over in this region, that's like, a colony of theirs. right? So they're like,
Right.
oh, those backwater elves kind of thing.
Right,
Mhm,
right.
mhm.
But
But they are different.
Fielding is different too from these elves, from a different place than these elves.
Do you even know where she's from? Like, I don't think we know for sure.
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she was pleasantly cagey about that,
You know what my
Right.
uncle would say
as
about
she was
people like
pleasantly
Fielding?
cagey of everything.
He would say she's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Oh,
I don't know what enigma means, but
well, it's kind of like a bigger mystery.
oh,
So kind of makes sense.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
starting
think
to
we have some
wonder.
good places to start.
I'm starting to wonder if sharing so much as I've been sharing with Underlore is a good idea.
Yeah?
I just always assume he has his own agenda, and I don't begin to understand what it might be. You could, if we send a message to Tree Root, maybe ask him that. I think you should write that letter to him, and then we can maybe have it magically sent over.
Sure, I'm sure I can figure that out.
Mhm.
I don't have that spell, do I? I have message, not the other one.
Well, we can hire someone.
Right.
You know, this this might be a terrible, terrible idea, and maybe it's me just wanting to see the best in everybody, but it does occur to me that we don't really trust anybody, and that might be an issue because the stuff we're dealing with. I don't know if the three of us can do all of it. So we might need some people that we can trust, you know?
Yeah.
Not
It's
unfair.
kind of a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what Goldrill is wrapped up in, and we've got the thing upstairs, and
Right.
now the whole city is going crazy, and Darfin's gone, and
Oh, speaking of the thing upstairs, I should tell
yeah?
you that too. The entrance, the entrance to the room, uh, with she takes off the ring that Shiraz gave her. It's the Shiraz ring. She takes it off
Yeah.
and sets it on the table because now she's like thinking about all of the reasons why she can't share anything with anybody. Uh,
Speaking of not trusting anyone.
right. Yeah, Kionan's hardcore on this right now. Like, she really is starting to wonder if she should trust anybody. So she's but she's like, speaking of that, when we went down to cast the spell, there was this room, there was this big, it was statue of Storm Giant, and um and it had like a serpent eye covering, and that's how we got down to the room where they cast a spell. But apparently the Storm Giants were like Eldrigo's favorite, so or something, and she's like trying to remember everything that Underlord told her when she was just standing there like, let me get through this, let me get through this. So it's
Like
a little bit
the whole
fractured,
storm giant thing. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
she's like, it's a little fractured, and and so maybe the Broken Circle, he was one of their founding members, this Storm Giant. I think he called him Voldir or something like that. And maybe that means that the Unbroken Circle and Eldrigo, and therefore Goldrule, have similar things in common. At least I thought maybe it was an interesting thought for a minute.
Possible.
Yeah, I mean, so wait. Are you thinking we should take it to them?
Take what to them?
I don't
The
know
thing
if that means.
upstairs.
No, I don't think we should give them
No,
that.
I don't think we should do that.
I
Well,
think
what
we
if
should
what is our plan? I feel like we don't have a plan for that. What if it what if it opens? Like, what do we?
I think that's something that we should probably
Mazra, if you
worry
say
about.
omelet, I swear.
Look, I'm not gonna make an omelet of a god egg.
Okay. It would be delicious. I
It
won't deny
would.
that.
But I think that's something we can worry about at another time.
I think we
What
should
I would-
figure out Darfin first.
Right,
Yes.
right, right, right.
What I would suggest is, and I know there's a lot going on right now, but there's the three of us. We know that we can rely on each other, and we have a goal, and we will do the best we can.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are, I think, no matter what we do, are just going to be out of our control. We can't do everything.
Right.
Well, I agree, and I guess that's kind of my point. But you, as you often do, Mazri, you put it better than I could have. I mean, if it's out of our control, shouldn't we try trusting someone with it? I mean, it's out of our control either way. If that thing opens, I mean, they have a storm giant. This is like
Well, no, he was
Eldrigo's
a statue.
chosen. Oh,
He wasn't actually there. It was a kid.
oh,
The room. It was just a statue.
I think
right.
with that, I don't think that's necessarily a bad point, but I think it's something we should maybe discuss once we've had
Right.
a bit of chance to think about it.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. We gotta find Darfin. Okay.
Well, I think we have a plan. So,
Also,
Kiona,
are you gonna finish those pineapple?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Thanks. Food will like grab them all and just like eat them.
Just push the plate at you like. And
so I'm
we'll
going
finish-
to the palace.
right?
Okay.
Because is it evening by now? Are we waiting till like the morning to go,
It's
or
like
what are we doing?
it's like early evening by now, so you could probably make it if you wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Let's just get it done.
All right, Foodle. See you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Best place to visit Shiraz Shade Hearts.
That's oh my god. Yeah.
Sorry, we threw that one at you at the last minute. There, Ghost.
What I put his name on the list at the last minute.
Right. So I guess that's true.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
Yep, that's fine. So let's go to the palace first.
Okay.
So, Foodle, you are admitted into the palace by the guards at the gates. When you approach the palace gates, you see sort of arrayed in a line on both sides, facing each other and hurling shouts and insults at each other. You see. Basically, one side are what appears to be supporters of High Priest Matilda and the Temple of Light, decrying the violence earlier in the day, and arrayed on the other side is another crowd of much more humbly dressed, and some of them like sackcloth dressed. What appears to be that element of the city that has sort of declared itself like anti-elf, pro-human. Some of them professing loyalty to the Dreamer cult and to Dyer, who is still underground and in hiding somewhere. Just hurling, shouting and hurling insults at each other. The sort of more working class, Dreamer aligned faction calling the other side traitors. And in between them is this sort of thin cordon of guards, kind of keeping them separated. And both sides are throwing up chants about and slogans about what they want, how they want the king to respond. They want the king to respond with a tough fist and a show of strength against this elven invasion that they believe is coming, whereas the other side wants the king to make a show of strength of a different sort against the people that they think are behind the attack on the old tower. But when you approach Foodle, the guards sort of recognize you, and you hear one of them shout, "Let him through!" And the guards kind of shoulder their way through the crowds and make sure that, keep them separated, and sort of escort Foodle you through, which is, in a way, welcome Raiders. In a way, like, it's all very disturbing. Like, people are like shouting and jeering but in a way you're also, this humble forest gnome from Lumbril being escorted by armed guards into the royal palace of this great kingdom. So it's a little bit humbling to you.
Yeah, Foodle's sort of inwardly screaming.
Yeah,
A little bit.
people are shouting from the sidelines. Hey, it's Foodle Shepard. You're on our side, right? No, you fool! He's on our side. There's people like shouting and soliciting you for opinions and for a stance. Are you with Cormantia or with the elves, or are you with order and stability, or for these agents of chaos on the other side? And pretty soon you're swept in through the gates into the palace. The gates slam shut behind you, but you can still hear, muffled through the door, the muffled shouts of the crowd. One of the guards sort of sidles up beside you. Mr. Shepard, His Majesty wants to see you. This way.
Oh, okay.
Where are the rest of your friends? He was hoping they would be here as well.
Oh, it's like, wait, do I tell this guy where they actually are? Oh God, that's gonna sound so bad.
Yeah, make a decision.
We sent the wrong person.
Make a decision. Make a decision, you two.
They're actually, they didn't fare quite as well as we had all hoped. The tower, there was a lot of smoke, and they're sort of resting and recovering.
Yes, there was a lot of smoke, and the guard has like 1,000-yard stare straight ahead of him. I lost 2 friends in that fire.
I'm so sorry.
Well, as long as we bring the perpetrators to justice, yes?
Agreed.
Then
That's
their
why I'm
souls
here.
can rest in peace.
Yeah.
Come, this way. And the guard leads you in, and you, the course is very familiar to you, and you realize that you're once again being led to the throne room. The throne room stands empty when the guard leads you into it, and in fact he sort of guides you to the far side, to this one of the small doors off to the side of the throne in the back of the room, that leads you into the king's personal offices. And inside there, you find King Seamus, Chancellor Valora, and King Seamus is currently sort of standing with his arms held out, standing on top of a raised dais, while his royal seamstress, Yashara, is making some she's looking rather not panicked, but having to work quickly. You know, there's a sort of grim determination as her fingers work quickly, making what appears to be some very last minute alterations to the resplendent blue and yellow robe that he's wearing.
Hey, I apologize about the state that I'm in. We come almost directly from the happenings today.
No,
Foodle
no,
sort
no,
of
no, no.
wipes off some.
Mr. Shepin, please, no. And King Seamus kind of waves Yashara away, and she steps back, and he steps down, and please take a seat.
Foodle sort of sits down, climbs into a chair.
I understand what you've been through today, and it must have been absolutely horrible. I'm so sorry. And I'm equally grateful for what you and your friends have done to help this kingdom. Even during this trying time, I just can't believe what's happened. I just... Is it true what they're saying, that the captain of the guard, Darfin, was responsible for this? Is that possible?
I don't think so. I didn't know Darfin for that long, but they seemed uncomplicated and uncompromising. I don't think they could have done something like this.
Well, that's the impression I've gotten of him as well. And I'm frankly shocked that this could be. I simply don't believe it.
We have reason to believe that powerful transmutation magic, I think I'm getting that right, was cast in the tower. Kiona sensed sort of wisps of it as we reached the top of the tower. It was a powerful leftover pattern.
So when you say transmutation magic, King Seamus kind of frowns and glances up at Valora, who just patiently nods. Yep, that's the one. Go on, please. He doesn't interrupt you.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about magic, but I know that transmutation is like the changey one. So it's possible.
Seamus looks at Valora again, and she nods again.
We have no way of knowing. It's possible that someone looked like Darfin and did this.
Really?
We don't know for sure, but with powerful transmutation magic and Darfin not seeming like the person who would do this, I don't know. It's what we've got so far. I guess I don't know. The other thing is, and Yashara, it's always nice to see you, by the way. I wondered
at the
if
royal seamstress. It kind of like does a little bit of a double take because she's not normally used to being addressed during these meetings. She's like,
you probably don't remember.
No. It's nice to see you too, I suppose.
Yeah. We found this, and Foodle will sort of set it on the table so that King Seamus and Chancellor Valora can both see it. We found this in the tower. Now, it's a very fancy, as you can see, piece of fabric, and it seemed unlikely that any member of Darfin or his command would have worn such a thing?
Seamus kind of it picks it up. I have my glasses cleaning rag here.
Nice. There you go.
He picks it up and he kind of studies a little bit, and he turns around and hands it, sort of hands it behind him and motions for Yashara to take
We were
it.
wondering if you recognized it.
Yashara, could that be? And Yashara sort of steps forward a little bit timidly, a little bit gingerly, because once again, she is not a member of like the king's administration or the king's cabinet, right? She like works on his clothes sometimes during high level meetings, and she like says nothing during those. And in fact, it's like, she basically has to like forget everything that she hears. So so she kind of very unused to being part of this, and looking a little bit uncomfortable with all the attention that's on her. The blonde human woman, she steps forward and takes it. And when the king sort of asks her, well, could this be? She rubs it between her thumb and her fingers, the delicate fabric. Yeah, this is from a piece that I made.
Oh.
I went to the prison earlier this morning before the fire happened to drop off a robe for High Priest Matilda.
Oh.
It was it's customary for the accused in a trial like this to wear purple, and given her station, we thought it was a show of respect to make her something quite extravagant.
I see.
But I just dropped this off and left. You said you found it?
We did, yeah. We found it near... There's no easy way to say this. We found it near one of the bodies.
Oh.
Could we have... the bodies were very burned. Would we have been able to tell if it was like from one of their bodies or possibly... Because my
It
thinking,
was-
as a player, my
Yeah.
thinking is it's not from either of them. But I
Right.
don't know if there's a way to
So
confirm
I
that.
will just take you real quickly back to that map, and let's see if
Alright,
I can.
okay.
It's gonna be a little bit. I'll let chat see this as well. It's gonna be a little bit janky.
I think
Oh,
Matra
yeah.
did. She rolled very well, I think, on her.
That's right.
So if I
It wasn't near enough to
It-
either. of
It
them.
was near
Yeah,
it, but like not
so-
so near it. It was like over here or
Here's-
something.
here's the cloth,
Right.
and here's the nearest body.
Yeah.
So they're a goodly distance away.
Right,
Right.
right. Now, okay, so I kind of messed things up. It occurs to me it wasn't like near one of the bodies. It was actually like a couple feet away. Now, Ghost, did it appear like it was like looking at it now? Even does it appear like it was ripped or cut or?
It looks like, well, so it's definitely ripped, and the edges of it are burnt a little bit.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's possible. It was very hard to tell. It was extremely hot and very smoky. There are benefits to being short. But we still had to get out of there. So it was hard to tell. But we're not even sure Matilda's body was there. Like, we don't know if she died in the fire or not.
What?
Yeah. it's possible that this was just a breakout attempt and not an assassination as it, was made to appear. I don't know. I guess so. Here's a question for maybe you, Chancellor. Do you have a copy of the sign-in log? Because we have one, and just in case you don't, on the off chance you don't, we could pass that on.
Of the prison?
Yes.
No, y- there aren't copies of that made. You must have the only one.
Well, it's possible that it's unlikely that however this happened, because we still don't know exactly what happened, but it seems likely to me that however this happened, the person who did it would not have signed the logbook. I think for probably obvious reasons. But anyone who did sign the logbooks might have overheard something or seen something that maybe they didn't. It might not have even registered at the time as odd or strange, but now, with new context, maybe is information that could help us. So, talking to the people on that list could be fruitful.
It could be.
It's
Mr.
actually one of
Shepard.
the. Yes?
Could I ask you to leave this with us? Because we, as vital as this is, we have another task for you
Oh.
that we think you're a bit more suited for than anyone else I have to send.
Oh. Okay. Well, yeah. Would this help in finding, the truth of what happened today?
I think it will.
Okay. I mean, that sounds good to me. What do you need?
Well, if you recall, before this awful business at the old tower, we had asked you and your friends to hunt down Erusian.
Yes.
There may be a lead.
Oh.
And if you're talking about magic that is transformational in nature, it might be connected to this. We know that Erusian has ties to the Dreamers. There's an old Eldrigan monastery south of the city that the Eldrigan monks abandoned ages ago. We've had reports that the Dreamers moved in there and they've been conducting strange rituals.
Oh.
And Valora kind of perks up at this and frowns. Really? Your Majesty, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. And Seamus kind of looks at his Chancellor and says, yes, and I'm sorry about the secrecy, Chancellor Valora, but we're just not sure where Erusian has eyes and ears. They could be somewhere watching us right now.
Oh. You know what we do? We sometimes write down in our notebooks instead of talking about it.
That is a good idea.
And you well, roll an insight check on the king. Yeah.
All right, here we go. No, really? Come on. Okay, I rolled a 3 plus 7 is 10.
Oh dang. You have a plus 7 insight? Holy.
Yeah.
You don't pick up on it, but like Cauliflumps, you know how when one of your students is telling you something incredibly that they believe to be incredibly profound, and but it's really not, and you just kind of have to be like, yeah, wow, you're so
Yes.
you know,
Oh,
like he's kind of doing that to you right now.
Yep. Okay. And Foodle doesn't notice.
He's just like, yeah, okay, this is a good idea.
Yeah, something to think about.
In any case, the Eldrigan monks who inhabited this monastery, they were outside of the mainstream, even by the loose standards of Eldrigo's worship. They were said to be mystics who rejected the corruption of the material plane and tried to find a way to abandon their bodies altogether. When they left, some people say they succeeded. The Dreamers moved in and tried to get their hands on their research and continue the rituals, and we think this has something to do with Erusian.
Oh. You know what? That makes sense. It seems like a lot of his followers were working with portals and trying to get to other places and stuff.
How much? So we haven't really had a chance to talk about out of like above table here, like the full story of your trip to the Lost Dunes and everything that happened there. Like, how much have you kind of debriefed to the king? Because the king would have wanted to know. But obviously, this is not a situation where it's like, write a report, because here we have 3 country bumpkins. At least one of whom is probably like illiterate. But we haven't. I'm not saying it's you. I was thinking Foodle. I was thinking Foodle.
I was thinking Foodle too.
Yeah, no. There's the meme. There's the meme in game that Kiona is illiterate, but we all know that she's not.
No.
We all know that Kiona's in deep cover as illiterate so that the unbroken
really
circle underestimate her.
What
should we,
if anything, would we have left out?
Yeah, so that's important to know, because at some point during your downtime, and I was remiss in playing this out, but which we didn't need to play it out in great detail. But they would have at some point been like, hey, you're gonna come and tell us all about it, and you know, whether it's directly to the king. Well, we will say it was directly to the king, because the king had sort of placed his trust in you as like, all right, you report directly to me because I can't trust anyone, kind of thing.
Right.
So that's a good question. What would you have left out? I assume since Foodle just blurted out like, hey, we've had dealings with people who are into portals and stuff, just now, that you would have told him about the portal.
Yeah, well, I was actually very specifically unspecific for that very reason. So I was like, wait, what would we have told? Anyway, but I mean, I think I'm trying to think if Foodle would have wanted to leave anything out, and I can't necessarily think of anything. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have.
But
right.
but from Foodle's perspective, what did Foodle
Yeah.
maybe miss that Kiona thinks about in regards to what she saw in the desert? I think it's different
Right.
things, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Right?
Well,
'Cause
something
she-
for us to think about. Let's
Yeah.
let's
We'll nail that
let's
down before next
yeah,
session.
we'll nail that down
Yeah.
before next session. Sorry for the sudden derail, because I had a
Oh, that's
moment
okay.
where I like with Seamus, I was almost like, yeah, and Seamus does a double take, like, huh, what are you talking? But then I was like, well, but wouldn't you have told him that? But
Right.
then I
feel
realized
like
that
we
we
need
have
to
no
have told
idea.
him
Yeah.
the
Right, but the
very
details
basic
are is the
bare
question.
Yeah.
Right. We
the
would have
deta-
just
which details? Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because Moss would have been like, "Yeah, let's not tell them everything."
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so Foodle, very delicately, general portal stuff.
Right. Right.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I wonder. Yeah. This could tie into all of this. Well, okay. Yashara.
And Foodle wants
So
to sort of watch.
once again, she's surprised that he's talking to her.
Yeah. Foodle wants to once again watch her face as he says this to her.
When you were delivering this beautiful robe,
Thanks.
did you overhear? Does the name Tensor mean anything to you?
No, I've never heard of him.
Insight check.
Hey, insight check away.
Is that? Oh my god, I thought it was another 3. Thank god. It's a 15 plus 7. for
Dang.
22.
Dang. You get a couple impressions from Yashara. First of all, this is not a woman who seems timid to you. In fact, she seems like a very sort of strong and go-getter kind of one. And in fact, in the past, you've seen her like manhandle the king a little bit when he's like his arms have slouched a little bit and she needs him to raise his arm. She just like grabs it and raises it, so she seems like a very decisive person. Is just like seems a bit uncomfortable with having this like high level attention on her. She also seems confused by the question, like, who is this guy and why would I'm just a tailor. Why would I know this person? Right? So she seems unfamiliar with this name that you've dropped. And she seems just confused that she's being asked the question at all.
Okay. And Foodle's gonna sort of reiterate.
Okay. Well, that's probably a good thing. Whatever you saw and overheard, almost regardless of, how important it may have seemed at the time, I think you should definitely talk to either the king or Valora or both about what you saw and heard. Because anything could help us. Any information could help us.
Well, I went with the council procession that Chancellor Valora was part of, and the other counselors. But I make it my business not to listen in on any affairs of state or important things like that. That's not really my role. And her eyes are kind of like darting to the king and the chancellor to be like, yeah, I don't listen, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've been like you've cornered her in a meeting with her two bosses, and you're like,
God, what am I doing?
hey Yashara, do you ever steal food out of the company fridge? You know,
Oh,
like
God.
she's like, no.
Oh no. Oh shit. That's true.
Okay. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna go figure out the stuff going on at this monastery.
Please do, and you can leave that list with Chancellor Valora, and she'll have the city guard, the royal guard rather, not the city guard, the royal guard, look into that.
Of course. Foodle hands it over. Sorry, Masra. He doesn't think.
Yeah.
He just hands it over. That was the
Hey,
player.
Thank you, Foodle. And Chancellor
course,
Valora
of course.
takes the list.
All right. Well, I guess I should just say I don't envy any of you. This is not a good position to be in. I mean, when I came in, everyone was shouting at each other and they all want to know like whose side we're on, and it's like I just want to find out what's really happening.
Yes, and I'm relying on you three for that. As king, it's my responsibility to keep order in this kingdom and in this city. But it's also my responsibility to defend our territory and our sovereignty. I feel like I'm being pulled in too many different directions at once. If you can get to the bottom of this, reveal what really happened, bring Arusian to justice, then that may be the easiest way out with the least amount of bloodshed.
For the first time, Foodle wants to insight check this man
Okay.
on what he just said.
Okay.
Ooh. It's a 2. plus 7. Hold on, do I have
Yeah?
inspiration? I do. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna reroll.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, that's better. 14 plus 7 for a 21.
Wow.
Basically, what Foodle wants to know
Okay.
is, and I don't know if any of this is possible, right? Because this is up to you as
Yeah.
the DM. But Foodle's trying to gauge if the king is leaning toward one side or the other, and if he really wants to avert bloodshed. Those are the two things that Foodle cares about and what the king has said.
He really wants to avert bloodshed. You do kind of get an inkling that one side or the other, but you're not sure which one, may like have his sympathies a bit more than the other.
Okay.
But you're not sure which side that is.
Right. Okay. God, I hope I didn't forget anything. Shit. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll do that first thing in the morning, and then tell you what we find.
Yes. Best of luck to you, Foodle.
Should we come back here or send a message or?
I want you to come back here and report to me directly.
Okay. All right.
I want you to roll another insight check.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
13. So I rolled a 15, a 14, and a 13. 20.
20. There is a brief, tense look that passes between the king and Chancellor Valora.
Okay.
Well hidden
Right.
and very short-lived. You're getting the
Right.
impression from that the Chancellor is somewhat being held at arm's length by the king, and she doesn't like it.
Gotcha. Okay. Aha. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And Valora, can you? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just check my notes. Actually. Okay. I was going to ask you what sort of origin she is, but I'll
She's
check
human.
my notes. Okay. Human. All right.
She's a
Okay.
human noblewoman, in advancing years.
Okay.
She definitely cuts the sort of eminent, graying, elder stateswoman kind of look.
Gotcha. And I have to know, is her name a reference to Chancellor Valorum? Like, it's been bugging me the entire fucking time.
You know
that we've
what?
had-
It's not
like,
a reference. It's not a reference, but I was like, there's gotta be like it's just the name that popped into my head, and I Google searched
Okay.
it so many times and nothing came up, and then you're like Chancellor Valorum.
It's not just
I'm like,
me.
Who is that from? What is that from? It's been bugging me.
Okay. So-
Because usually, if I do a Google search, like I literally did a Google search for Chancellor Valora and nothing came up. And I was like,
I
okay,
thought it was
then it's
amazing.
safe. Because sometimes when I come up
Right.
with a name, it's like really similar to a
You
name
thought it
from another
exists, yeah.
property. Well, so what's that from?
it's from Star Wars. Chancellor
I th-
Valorum is like the.
I thought
He's like-
that.
Isn't he the guy who's like,
Whoa.
yeah, the Senate, you know, the Emperor did away with the Senate, and
That's
like,
what I thought. Come
you know,
on.
the
like,
regional
how can I-
governors will like. I don't know. That's funny.
Jesus.
Anyway, sorry.
'Cause Literally.
Oh, was it
literally
episode?
Today,
Oh, no, I'm wrong. Episode 1.
Because literally today,
Oh.
I gave Yashara a different last name, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's why that name popped into my mind, because it's a character from A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm gonna give her a different last name. So if I had successfully like realized that that's from Star Wars, because I had the inkling, and I even had the inkling it's from Star Wars, and I looked it up and I couldn't find anything, so I was like, okay, I'm safe. And now here we are.
Megan. Sorry. It's been
Here
bugging
we
me for
are.
months. I'm like,
I know,
it's
months
gotta be,
later.
but no. Anyway,
No,
it doesn't
and
matter.
it's too late to change your name now. Damn it.
Anyway,
Okay. No, it's fine. I
Chancellor
love it.
Valora, with a B.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
well, Foodle sort of gives like a short nod, and then waves at everybody. Okay, we'll do our best. We'll take care of it. Oh, he's the one who got it voted out for no confidence. Oh my God, you're right. He's that British guy. Oh,
Dang.
what's
Yeah.
the name? Anyway.
No
That
non-confidence
British
vote.
No.
That's I gotta tell you, the government procedure, the legislative procedure in the prequels, my favorite part about Star Wars. Like that's what I watch a Star Wars movie for.
Right.
It's like, when they stand up and they're like, Mr. Speaker, point of order, I'm like, oh yeah, just shoveling that popcorn.
I point to those scenes whenever anyone tried to tell me that these movies were made for kids. I was like, yeah, the kids, they
Yeah.
love that shit. They eat that
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got us on a
They're
whole
like,
tangent.
we're moving
Anyway.
we're moving this bill to a third reading, and the kids are like, "Ah!"
A third reading.
All over TikTok.
I know, right? Anyway. But yeah, so Foodle gives a polite nod and then waves and does his Foodle thing. We're on the case. We'll do it. We'll report back.
The discretionaries are on the case.
That's right. And good luck. And I'm sorry about those that were lost. I know
Right.
something about that. Anyway.
Right. We're going to move on to the other two.
Yes.
All right.
While they're heading there, Mustard's just like, look, I'm just gonna expect you to do like 95% of the talking.
All right, just let me know if you think I'm missing something, or just say something if you feel like there's something missing.
Sure.
They will go to Shiraz Shade Hearts. They will enter through the kitchen because it's busy hour for them, and Kiona doesn't necessarily need to be seen going in here at this time. Kiona and Mazra don't need to be seen going in there at this time.
So going through the kitchen again?
Yeah, because
I think the first time they tried to go in through the front door and
It
they
was
got
'cause of
turned
Foodle.
away. So they went through the kitchen and they've never gone through the front door.
Yeah, no, that's
Kiona has gone through once. I think she went through the front door once.
Yeah.
Did she?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think Kiona
But
might
she
have,
has
if
seen
anyone
the main
did.
room. She's been taken out into the main room.
Anyway,
I'm not sure she's actually gone through that door.
You walk in through the kitchen. You kind of catch one of the servers as they're coming out, and they're kind of look at you weirdly, like, okay, come on
We have a
in.
meeting. We have a meeting.
Oh my gosh, Genovian Prince. What?
Genovian, my goodness. So Genovian just
No.
donated 5 gift subs. Heck yeah, that is so generous. of
Amazing.
you. Genovian, you never take advantage of like the sub rewards for Winds of Chaos. I'm gonna tell you right now, I will make your character a prince in this game, and you can make like 4. You can make a character representing yourself and like 4 of their attendants. There you go.
Oh my god, I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just send me a DM about what each of these
Please.
characters is like, and I'll work them into the game at some point. That is so generous of you. Thank you so much. No,
Do it.
what you do every day is too kind.
You're so sweet, yo.
Dude, who even I didn't even look at who got a Dill. Heck yeah. Aaron Ray, why am I here? Spectre 451 and Kupar. Heck yeah. Anyway. Sorry. That was just very unexpected generosity there. Focusing up here. Jeez, it's hard to refocus after that. That's so cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, so they can kind of give you a weird look and like direct you back into the kitchen. And as you work your way through the kitchen, the little gnome chef kind of looks at you and it's just like, oh, hell's bells. You lot again. And so it kind of goes back to his work and just ignores you as you move your way through. And when you emerge sort of into the bar area, you
No,
see.
we don't have to do that to go to Shiraz's office, do we?
Oh, you're going straight to Shiraz's office? Okay.
Well, yeah, we're there to we're talk to Shiraz, so that's where Kiona would go first.
Okay, yeah. Well, in any case, you run into Tiffany. She sort of catches sight of you as you're walking past, and she just looks at the two of you with like only the disdain that a, mid-level infernal could have for a mortal, and she kind of looks at you and narrows her eyes that are just like black orbs with like a red, almost reptilian iris. Don't you lot ever walk in through the front door?
Do you ever walk through in the... Kiana doesn't stumble
Just-
here. Do you ever walk through front door when you
Do you ever
Do you ever-
walk through your face?
Yeah, Kiona would love to say that actually, because with as much disdain as Tisiphone looks at them, Kiona is looking almost with as much disdain at Tisiphone. She's not sure why, but she doesn't like this bitch. She's always looking down her nose at us when we come in this place and being kind of a douchebag. She's hot, Kiona will admit, but she does not like her. So she's like, do you ever walk through a front door when you don't want to be seen going in somewhere?
Just go ahead.
He's in the office.
Mm-hmm. And Tisiphone turns around and just gets back to work. And you have the feeling that you have been dismissed.
Kiona is a little bit like hackles raised with her. But so they'll go back and knock on the door to the office.
I was gonna say in
We haven't
chat, but
gotten there yet.
honestly,
I know.
honestly, Flutter, I feel you. Like the whole, like when you're much less coherent and
I had
than your
like words
characters
in
are.
my head that were like a sentence that worked and it was good and like smart and like whatever, and then it all just fell apart when it started coming out my mouth. So that's
Well,
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, so you knock on the door and you hear the deceptively soft voice of Mr. Shiraz Shadeheart from inside. Come on in. Yep.
And they will enter. Kiona obviously put the ring back on after their conversation in the tavern.
Mm-hmm. And as you enter, you see the tiefling proprietor of Lysanthia's most exclusive lounge nightclub establishment, if you will. Look up from some notes on his table, and he stands up. Kiona, you're looking, well, positively lovely.
I wondered if
He's-
you might like that.
Yeah, he sees you in your hot tiefling form. You're no longer blue tiefling form, but bluish purple tiefling
Bluish
form.
So, but this was good. She got it fixed before they went and visited the one person that it might matter to, because it was an unnatural shade of blue. That's what it was, like a Smurf blue. That's what I figure.
Yeah. So for context for viewers who are just tuning in, we thought she had been turned blue by wild magic, and we thought that she requested to be unblued by a wizard. And then we thought, okay, so you turned red again, and then we were like, wait, what color are you actually? And the answer is basically still blue.
Right, because she still has red hair. Tieflings still have hair. So if
Yeah.
there's a version of her and it still has hair, the hair is red.
Tieflings
but
do
not
have hair.
necessarily the rest of her.
Yeah.
So that's right. That's
So
why I wanted-
Shiraz Shadeheart comes and takes your hand delicately in his and kisses the back of it, and then moves to do the same with Mazra.
No.
All right. To what do I owe the honor of this visit?
Mr. Shadeheart, we're investigating the thing that happened at the tower, and you were on the visitor list, and we're wondering what business you had there.
Oh, yeah, that was really unfortunate.
Indeed. Why were you there?
I'll tell you if he looks at Mazra. You let me kiss your hand. Not that wooden hand, though. I only like kissing flesh.
Fucking perfection.
So Mazra will sigh, and she will hold out her hands, but like usually people hold out their hands like this so that person can like take it or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's holding out her hand and she just does this.
Yep. And he places a gentle and lingering kiss on the tip of that finger.
And Kiona is barely containing herself because she thinks it's all just hilarious. There's no reason for any of this, but it's funny. She's dying.
And he turns around and moves back to his desk. Anyway, what is it you wanted to know?
Kiona kind of gives Mazra a little like cheeky grin and
And if you remember, Shiraz has like this like lounge chair in front of a fireplace, and he kind of if you've seen that picture of like super hot young Jeff Goldblum with his like black shirt unbuttoned, he like just sort of lounges back in the chair like that and just strikes that pose.
And Kiona thinks that is ridiculous too. And so she's just like, we had come to ask why you were here. Why you were at the tower. She's actually getting maybe a little bit flustered. While we were at the tower, before the fire. I assume it was before the fire.
Yeah, I was there.
What were you doing there?
I was visiting my friend Eden.
Your friend Eden?
Yeah. Eden D's... never mind. You wouldn't get it. And he sits up in his chair. No. I was just visiting the High Priest as a concerned citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I even wrote it down in the registration book.
I did see that, actually. What exactly were you concerned about?
Well, I don't want this whole city to light on fire. That's bad for business.
But why would it do that in the first place?
Well, you've seen what's been happening in the streets. All these dreamers and Temple of Light people, elven invasion, religious extremists. It's ridiculous. So dumb.
Insight check?
Okay. All right. What do you roll it and tell me what you're looking for.
She's looking because this seems like a very broad. It's very not specific, and she's wondering if it's because Shiraz remembers. Because they had discussed previously Shiraz's bouts of forgetting things. So she's looking for if this is something. Oh, fuck. All right.
That was a total of 8, chat.
Oh, I did that at disadvantage too. That was cool. But that's
Well, but 8 was the first
either
roll
way,
anyway.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
No. He seems to be telling you the truth. As much as Shiraz Shadeheart ever tells the complete truth.
Right. Well, it seems interesting that you just happened to be there that day. Is there anything that you saw that might have alerted you to something that was going on?
It is interesting that I happened to be there that day. I've been thinking about that ever since I came back and the fire happened. I could have died. And he sort of slouches back in the chair and has this like far off look. I could have finally
Mr.
died.
Shadeheart.
Yeah.
Mr. Shadeheart, do you remember the last time we spoke?
Mm-hmm.
And what you told me then?
How could I forget?
About your memory.
Oh. He seems disappointed. Oh, with that. What about it?
Is it possible that that applies right now?
Well, I don't think so, because I can account for everything that happened between my visit to the old tower and now. So I don't think I have any gaps in my memory.
Is your whole memory of the old tower visit there?
Mm-hmm. After I hung out with Eden a little bit and talked about her unfortunate affliction with Ligma, I just Flutter's reaction. I'm sorry. I went upstairs to pay my respects to the Elven Ambassador as an esteemed member of this city's business elite.
Mr. Shadeheart, is it possible that that's not a real memory?
All right. I admit it. I made up the part about my friend Eden, who suffers from Ligma disease.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just a joke.
Okay.
And he looks at Mazra. You know what a joke is, right?
No.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dying over here.
Humor is overrated.
Oh, well, you and I really disagree there. You'll have to pay a visit to one of my special rooms in the basement. I'll give you a couple things to laugh about sometime. But right now, we're talking business. No, I remember everything.
So tell us what happened while you were there.
Exactly as I said. I went up, I paid my respects to the Elven Ambassador. He really looked down on me. Pretty rude, actually. Said I ran a whorehouse, which is completely a lie. Well, mostly a lie. I mean, you've been down there, Kiona. What would you call it?
She looks at Mazra, and she looks back at Mr.
While she's busy looking at Mazra, Shiraz kind of shoots like a Grinch like grin at Mazra, which instantly disappears when Kiona looks back at him.
She's like, she doesn't care because nothing happened when she was. So she's just like, I mean, it seems like a place of business where somebody does things of a certain nature, and she'll kind of look at Mazra with a little sideways glance, and as a play to bolster Mazra's confidence and Kiona's faithfulness to Mazra, she'll just be like, it might be fun to visit ourselves sometime, but it does seem like business as usual, I think, in such a place. So whether or not people consider that prostitution, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, unlike some people, looks at Mazra, I'm not one to judge.
I'm sure you do your good fair share of judging, especially about certain people like Mr. Foodle.
Well, gnomes aren't people.
Right. Well, that's pretty much exactly my point. Anyway.
Can I ask you how long after you left do you know that the incident happened?
It was a couple hours. By then I had made it back here and I heard about it from Tisiphone.
You heard about it from Tisiphone. What what impression did you have of Matilda?
She's a real stick in the mud. No fun. She's a little bit holier than thou. He kind of giggles a bit at his own joke.
Kiona will kind of look at Mazra and be like,
Do you know anything about transmutation magic?
Yep.
do you use it?
I think I might even have some, but I haven't checked my character sheet in a while. I'm just here like loading it up. Yeah, I know some transmutation magic. I think that's not true. Actually, I don't.
It's not true. You don't know any?
I don't. He doesn't have any.
Upon learning that Mr. Shadeheart does not have any transmutation magic, Kiona will let out a little bit of a sigh of relief, actually. Because she was really hoping that it wasn't him. So she'll be like, all right, well, do you know anything about spells that might cause people to change and maybe some fire or just... There was some pretty gruesome stuff up there, and I'm trying to figure out who might have been able to cast it. You don't think Matilda could cast something like that?
Oh, Kiona. In my experience, people are capable of a great many things that you wouldn't expect. Especially if you don't expect them.
Right.
Like, what's her face, the queen, in that country you visited.
Rhiannon?
Yeah.
What about
All
her?
all those things that she did. He kind of just grins ear to ear.
Right. She'll kind of glance down at the ring and kind of sheepishly look at Mazra a little bit. Right.
Given the two of you didn't agree on many things, are you pleased that Matilda's dead?
You know, that's a tough one. Death is a funny thing. I'm happy that she's not around anymore, but I also miss her in a bit of a weird way.
Was she like some
She
kind of
she always
competition?
she always really blew up whenever we did any of our marketing stunts in the plaza.
Right.
And if you recall, the Shiraz Shayhart's establishment is like plunked down right across an open plaza from the Temple of Light, where they have full view of his den of iniquity.
Another reason why we don't go in the front door.
You must have really considered you were provoking her.
I was about to make a statement about Mr. Shadehart likes going in the back door.
I knew.
But does he like
happened
when
in
we
my
come in
head.
through the back door, though?
I keep an open mind.
According to the greeting we got today, Mazra, I feel like.
He doesn't let gnomes in, but two ladies are okay.
A tiefling and a half orc specifically work well.
I will never allow a gnome to come into my back door. Never.
What about your chef?
He's not a gnome, he's just short.
Uh-huh.
And he tells you this with, like, you know, very serious and slightly wide eyes. Almost as if this statement is a threat.
Interesting.
Anyway, is there anything else? Do you have any theories? Anything that you would be willing to share with us?
Transmutation magic like that doesn't normally cause fires to happen. There might be more than one spell at work.
Mhm.
Whoever did this is extremely powerful. Now, I'm all for taking risks, but you should be careful.
You plan to. If you hear anything, would you be willing to fill us in?
Oh. I'll fill you in, all right.
No.
I'm sorry I couldn't help more, but, well, like I said, I'm just a concerned citizen.
wonder about that part, but I'll be danged if you ain't believable.
Sure, we'll see each other again soon.
I'm sure we
Hey,
will.
would you let me know if Tisiphone says anything to you that feels weird?
Why?
I'm just, you know, spitballing.
I guess so, but remember, I have Tisiphone locked down tight.
Right.
And he pats a scroll that he always keeps on his desk, which you know is his
Which Kiona
contract
has seen.
with her.
Kiona has
Yeah.
seen the contract, and there's a piece
Yeah.
in that contract
And
that
it's
disturbs her, and she
long.
doesn't know why.
What's that piece in the contract that disturbs her?
There's something about I remembered. I have to rewatch the episode.
Yeah. Yep.
There's something in the contract about the thing that makes Kiona not like that whole situation.
Mm.
It makes her uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
She doesn't like Tisiphone. She doesn't have intelligence or wisdom scores, okay, guys? She cannot put 2 and 2 together.
And
Mr. Shaver
Shiraz,
forgets things,
yeah.
and Tisiphone has a contract that has a weird clause somewhere in it.
And Shiraz kind of leans forward a little bit and talking to her like he's placating a child. I'll let you know.
Thanks.
Oh, Mazra, before you leave, do you want me to make some modifications to that artificial hand of yours?
No.
I think Kiona would be really happy with what I have in
No.
mind. Just 1 or 2 extra functions.
No.
All right. Well, maybe next time. And he does like a vinyl sip expression.
You'll be back. What are the random sounds, though?
I don't know. I just put this soundscape on. That's like a town soundscape. And there's
It sounded like a motorcycle revving. Like
Yeah.
that's.
Oh.
Am I
It sounded
crazy?
like a
I don't
goose
know.
to me. It was that
Was it a
goose car
goose?
again. I feel
Oh.
like it was the Ephema car. Kiona's like, oh, Ephema must have just.
Okay, so do they leave without further incident or
Yeah. Shiraz Shadehart has said his farewells to you, and he kind of leaves you with that offer, if you will.
so once they're outside, Mazra will, if Kiona has put the ring back on, she'll kind of indicate for her to like put the ring away.
Okay, she'll take it off. She would have worn it through the whole thing because Shadesheart's right there, so she assumes that doesn't matter.
Right. So she'll say, was it common knowledge that Matilda was killed?
I mean, I feel like that's what the rumor was about, that Darfin did it.
Because he was talking about her as if she was alive. And I also noticed that he specifically said that when he pulled his stunts, she would blow up.
Huh.
I don't know him well enough to know if he's giving us hints or playing with us, but I would not put it out of the realm of possibility he knows something that he's not telling us.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me he has bouts of forgetting things, which is why I went down that road. I just don't know how to solve that. I don't know who's making him forget things, and I don't know. I feel like maybe he works for someone else and he just doesn't know it.
Maybe.
I can't figure it out.
I mean, in the end, is it our business?
I guess not. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but he was on that list too, so
Hmm,
maybe somebody else is who we should be worried about, actually.
possibly. My concern is that he went there to speak with her and maybe he pressed her buttons
Influenced her. Right.
or upset her somehow in
Hmm.
whatever way that he does.
That's true. I don't know, but does it get us any closer to finding anything?
Not
That
particularly.
Darfin?
Well, it's something to keep in mind.
Mm. They'll head back to the house.
Sure. And by the time you're back, Foodle is already there, waiting for you.
Okay, you guys. There's so much I need to tell you. So, Yashara doesn't know anything except that she made the piece of cloth as like a gift. It's like a customary thing for the accused to wear purple, so they thought it would do a big honor for her to have it at the trial. But it made me think, like, we didn't find it next to a body, so what if Matilda's still alive?
Quite possible.
Right?
If we consider Darfin might be alive, she could also be.
Yeah. I just don't know who's behind it. Anyway, so a couple other things. There's okay, so I went and I met with the king, of course, and Chancellor Valora. She was there all stern and, Valori. And then Yashar was there. And the king specifically, he wanted us to go to an old Eldrigan monastery south of the city that, like, the monks have abandoned, like, ages and ages ago. And apparently, like, the dreamers have moved in there, and they're, like, conducting strange rituals. And apparently, Chancellor Valora was surprised that she didn't know about this before the meeting. And I got the sense from King Seamus that he's kind of keeping her at arm's reach right now, and she doesn't like it at all.
Hmm.
When we get back from the monastery, he asked us to report directly to him.
Interesting.
She was on that list too.
Yeah,
Right.
and the implication was that
Hmm.
we report to just him, not with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That monastery, how far away is it?
Well, they gave me a map.
Couple, yeah, and you
It's a
would
couple
estimate
days
looking
ride?
at that map about 3 days journey.
Okay.
It must be important if he's sending us away when all of this is happening.
Yeah, he said, like, apparently, so the monks who had been there of Eldrigo, I think the idea, I don't know if I got it all, I was a little distracted, but I think they were they had some slightly different beliefs. They thought that the material plane was basically awful and just gross, and so they were trying to, like, leave their bodies using portals and stuff or something, or some kind of magic. Anyway, I think the dreamers wanted their research, and that's why they're there. And I think that does make sense if, this is all tied in with Arusian, because that's originally what they wanted us to do, right? Was catch Arusian.
Right.
Because it's possible that whole meeting made me think, like, when Kiona, when you were talking to Undrelor, he mentioned that spell. Like, is it just like a wizard thing? Because, like, Matilda's not a wizard, she's like a priestess, right? And like Shraz, he's not a wizard, right? He's like
Right.
he probably made a pact with something, maybe Tisiphone. I don't fucking know. Anyway, and like, all of these people, none of them are wizards, but Arusian might be, for all we know.
I think there's a very good chance of that.
Yeah.
Out of character, what was Darfin again?
He's a
I think she
paladin.
was- yeah, he was a paladin, right?
Just
Who's a
okay.
member of the Knights Radiant, which is
Right.
the Temple of Light's military order.
Okay. I
Mhm.
just wanted to make sure there wasn't another add in there that's
okay.
okay. Right. So maybe that's the case, but all right. Well, I guess we'll go and see what that is tomorrow then. Head out in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, it like, think about all the people in the desert, right? Like they were all doing weird portal stuff. I guess maybe not, the first guy, Balian. I knew his name. Uh, but like the rest of them, what was going on there? It's all this portal nonsense.
Right.
And there was that place of the shadows or something. I don't even know. It's crazy.
I think it's somewhere we gotta go at this point. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of strange things pointing in that direction, I think. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and maybe if we're really lucky, there will be like egg research. Like something that could help us.
Right. Is there any reason why we should think to take it with us?
Uh,
I think that would be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because isn't the egg like this big? Like,
it's about as big as me.
Right.
Good
It would.
size, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about
yeah.
Pluto size,
We.
yeah.
I mean, we'd have to take the wagon with us and all of that to do that. But okay.
You have been told that it's a 3-day journey to get there, so you're looking at 3 days to get there, however much time it takes there, and then 3 days to get back.
Right.
before.
God.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and Monster's like, before we leave, we need to draft those communiques.
Right.
So contact Tree Root. Maybe send a message. I don't know where Efima is, but we could try and get a letter to her.
We might be able to use Ikari for that? Question mark.
Maybe. Do we know anyone else? That's a good start. That's a good start, anyway.
I think that's pretty good right now. Those are the people I feel like we do trust most.
Yeah.
Oodle, does that friend of yours, the one that gives you things, does he know anything?
I mean, I don't know if he knows anything about this.
I mean, wouldn't he know something about leaving the material plane?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I have left the material plane a couple times now.
But that's why I figure Darfin might not be here because we both done that. So
Right.
Well, I'm just thinking of various things.
Yeah,
At this
yeah.
point, anything could help. Well, anyway, I suggest we all get some rest. We'll send those letters and make sure to bring everything that we think we need.
Yeah. I feel like I'm forgetting something. You know that feeling? Like, you're packing for a trip and you feel like you forgot the towels or something? I've had it all day.
Well, what do you think it has to do with?
No, I don't know. I mean, I asked asked King Seamus. You know, I mean, it wasn't even a question directly. Basically, I just, I said the situation sucks. It's kind of awful. And then he sort of started talking about how it is a tough situation and everybody wants different things from him. And he's hoping to avert bloodshed by finding Erusian. And the look on his face and the tone of his voice, I mean, he definitely favored one side over the other, but I couldn't tell which. The thing that gave me some solace was that he clearly wanted to avoid bloodshed.
Hmm. I mean, I suppose in the end, it is his kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's, gonna hand over the kingdom to the elves. I guess what if, I mean, I've been trusting him this whole time. What if the reason he wants us to find Erusian and report directly to him is because he wants to find Erusian for, not good reasons? And then, frame us for bad stuff because we're the only ones there? It's like his word against ours and we're nobody's?
I don't know. I don't feel like the king is that kind of person. If anything,
I'm impressed. You're
keeping
starting
it-
to sound like me.
Well, but that's what I'm worried about. I don't want to. That's your job, right? I don't want to. We gotta trust somebody. I was just thinking we need to trust people, and then I was in the meeting and I was freaking out because I don't know if I can
Either
trust
way-
anybody.
we get to decide that after we find Erusian, right?
Right?
It's healthy to be skeptical.
I don't know if it is. I hate it. I don't like it at all. Makes me feel
I don't
awful
really
and
like it
icky and-
either, Foodle. But it doesn't seem like there's anybody we can trust anymore.
We can trust each other.
And my mom and my dad and
And your
the
mom.
Lumbrel folk.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
We
we just
trust
need to
her
do
aunt?
it.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I firmly believe that the influence of Grumsh has been removed from her.
Okay. That's good. Me too. She seems to be fitting in well. She's smiling.
Your family has a way about them where they tend to grow on you like a fungus.
It's partly the smoke leaf.
They are pretty infectious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mazra is completely enamored with Poodle's family. Wow. Mazra's looking forward to game night now.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
All right. Well, I guess we check out the monastery and see what we find.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a good night's rest will do us well before a journey like that.
Absolutely.
All right. Good night, Mazra. Good night, Kiona.
Not Foodle.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night.
What?
I don't know any of their other names.
Stupid joke. Don't worry about it.
John Boy's the only name I know from that family.
That's what everybody knows.
Poodle heads to bed.
All right. And everybody heads to bed, tucking in for a long night's sleep. Ooh. That's a little
What
bit.
is that music?
What? Like,
Oh,
whoa.
no.
No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's not the right one. That's not the right one.
God. It's
That's
like, are we
not the right
getting another
one.
dream?
Fear your dreams.
Oh God. Oodle.
The next morning. Oh, there it is. The next morning,
No.
you awaken, see to your preparations, load the wagon up, and say your goodbyes to Foodle's family
We send those messages.
and send those messages. And before you leave, the last thing you do is go to the one completed table that you ate your delicious pineapple pizza pie at. Spread out the map in your tavern, I should say. Spread out your map across the table and just sort of retrace your path along the map with the tip of Maz's got like the tip of a dagger that she's showing. And Kiona, you're reaching out onto the map to point at something. And the tip of the dagger just nicks the side of your finger. And you kind of just, ouch. And, put your finger in your mouth. There's a little spot of blood on the map. And slowly it spreads out and out and out over that monastery. And as it sort of spreads out like an ink blot that keeps on expanding, it forms the visage of a six-eyed face. And Kiona, you lean closer to it and seeming transfixed by it. And as you do, there's a sudden flash as though the face is jumping out of the paper, jumping off of the map at you, and you awaken in your bed, still in the middle of the night, with a start. And that is the end of tonight's session.
You bastard. Oh.
Oh no.
We did basically precisely two things that I planned for this session, but it was actually a lot of fun.
All right.
It was actually a fun roleplay session. But next week, we're definitely jumping back into some dungeoneering.
Action.
Oh, and we can do some level 9 shit.
Oh.
That's right. Level
Woo!
9. Just make sure everybody's character sheets are updated. I don't know if they were finalized for this week. I remember there was like one or two of you that had like one or two things still outstanding.
I finalized it last week before we started, but
Perfect.
yeah, it's fine.
Good.
I just don't have a specific thing until we do a specific thing, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that is up to you when we do it. Although we're going to be jumping straight into a dungeon.
Right.
Next week.
Right.
So.
Right.
Maybe after that. But, gosh, this was so much fun. Shograz, I'm so glad that you made it into chat to feed me some lines. That's certainly
That was perfect.
that certainly livened things up a little bit.
I love
Gosh.
it. I love it. You guys are amazing. Also, Shinobi and Prince, please, by all means, make the characters. Because
like, dude,
even if they're just vague suggestions, be like, I want this guy that does this, a guy that does that, whatever.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Ghost will work with that.
DM
doesn't
DM
have
it
to
to
be
me.
specific
I want
fleshed
them.
out.
I want them in the campaign. I've already got like little ideas forming.
right?
A considerably tall halfling, yeah.
Yeah,
A
see, there you go.
considerably tall halfling, right? I just listen. It's so much fun, the stuff that you guys give us. This is the whole point.
Yes.
This campaign has been
Mhm.
so cool because you guys are giving us so much
Yeah.
to work with.
We got so many
Yeah.
cool NPCs, you know. Fiddlebeak
Right.
and Tinkerbell, who made a return today, were
Yes.
chat-created NPCs. Other characters, actually, Shiraz Shadeheart was made heavily in conjunction with Shagraz.
Mr. Shawgrass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tree Root, Fieldine, Euphema.
Yeah.
Fieldine,
Like so
Euphema,
many things.
The one
Tree
we're
Root.
looking
Most of the names that were mentioned
Darfin.
today were created
Yeah.
by you guys. So
Yeah.
There's even another character who I have not yet revealed was made with from Chat Redeem. But yeah, but
Oh.
there's somebody who's been a viewer created character this whole time.
Wow.
So yeah,
Dun, dun, dun.
but I don't want to say who. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. Dude, who's here tonight? Sandrine was around, Pug was around, LaCrew was around and chatting, Jeff Rubin, Megan, of course, Vinyl,
We had Bard for a while.
you guys are
Genovian
amazing.
Bard, Honey Shuckle was here, Dill Sauce,
Goodness,
a whole
so
bunch of
many
other people, yeah. Sequence was here for a
community.
bit. I'm
All
sorry if
the
I miss
coolest
anybody. I was
people.
trying not to pay too much attention to chat. I'm trying. So,
Chem work. Oh man, that's rough. I love chem though.
oh man.
I did too. I actually
Chat
really
crew.
enjoyed him.
It was my favorite, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no,
I-
Mr. Sputnik!
Oh my goodness.
Welcome.
Mr. Sputnik, welcome. We're just wrapping up. Welcome, everybody. Oh, thank you so
Oh,
much. How is your, yeah, we're ending. That's okay. That's against the rules.
Oh, yeah, that-
though.
Ghost, you said you had a whole dungeon planned, right?
Yep, let's
I mean,
do
yeah.
I do
so
have a
just
whole
let's-
dungeon plan.
let's
Silver
dive in.
Shadow, thank you for the
Fine.
follow. Welcome to the Pepper Patch. Don't forget to follow my players because we do rotate channels. Oh my god, I cannot. I need to work tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Not
Sam.
now, you better
I
call
cannot.
in.
Listen, you know what? If this
Is
was
that,
still
you know?
like the summer, and if Woof could just call in to work,
I would call in
right.
sick.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Okay.
We're
Look at
throwing
that.
out the big
Staring-
buttons right
staring me
there.
down.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, I cannot call in sick because I'm the person who handles the sick calls at my job. So
oh
like,
yeah, true.
it's like a who watches the Watchmen situation.
Right, yeah. Okay.
And I know that there are no more people available to cover because I was like low-key organizing coverage for like 3 different people during this stream tonight.
Oh no!
Oh wow.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, we had a really good roleplay heavy session this time. Next
We
time it's
did.
gonna be
Right,
dungeon
right,
crawling. So
We had
Yep.
Want to see us panic?
mhm.
We're investigating. First of all, Mr. Sputnik, how was your session tonight? Tell us about
Yeah.
your adventure. Tell us
Yeah.
about your campaign. What was going on in your session? In our session, the party is investigating the apparent and cataclysmic demise of one of their allies who has been
Hopefully not demise.
accused of like flipping and assassinating someone wholly against what the party believes to be his character. They believe him to be innocent, and if nothing else, they're trying to clear his good name and his memory, but more so trying to find out that he's still alive. And there's a deep conspiracy happening in the city, and violent divisions are emerging as the kingdom hurtles towards war with their nearby elven empire. So that's where we are, and our party needs to uncover the truth and bring the perpetrators to justice in order to prevent that bloodshed. Will they succeed? I don't know. Depends.
We'll windbag our way through it.
I actually don't know.
We're never prepared as we want to be, even
These
though
guys-
we try so hard to prepare ahead of time.
These guys are-
completely over-prepare or completely under-prepare.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Right?
True.
It's
These
true.
guys are more likely to start a war than prevent one. Lots of tears today, lots of emotion, but also a sleepover and a pillow fight. It was awesome. Oh my goodness, Mr. Sputnik. That sounds like so much fun.
Fun.
So it was a role play heavy session on your side as well. That's nice. Those are nice to have. A good old dungeon. You need a good old dungeon
Yeah.
crawl. But
Next
those
week, apparently,
yeah.
over on Flumps' channel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Over on Flums' channel. So, like I said, don't forget to follow my my players because we rotate around their channels as well. Next week we're going to be Shay Cauliflumps for episode 1 of the Dungeon Crawl. Episode 1 of the 1 episode Dungeon Crawl.
Hey.
I'm
Fingers
calling
crossed.
it
I have
here.
anything to do.
I'm calling it here. It's never happened. We've never done a Dungeon
It's
Crawl in
never
one
happened.
episode.
We
happened.
never
Never
finished
happened.
a dungeon in one episode.
Not even that. Remember the one that was like, I think the smallest one we did was
specifically
probably.
planned to do one in one episode, and we still didn't.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh man.
Megan says on my stream earlier we got to talk about D&D moments, so I was told the story about how one time my dark space, so I told the story about how one time my dark space character had a traumatic experience and got that compelled where he couldn't resist shooting people wearing a certain uniform. And I was trying to interrogate this guy and I rolled poorly, so my character was like, well, and shot him. And I was like, what the? Yeah, dude.
Right? Oh yeah. Shenanigans went down in that campaign, you guys.
I'm gonna have to try to get everyone here to run a one shot with you. Yeah, LaCrew, we totally will.
That would be so much
Oh,
fun.
God.
It needs to be like, you need to plan it to be like a long one shot during the
Yeah.
day on weekend or something, because
It's
we
like-
can keep it to
Yeah.
reasonable
Just
hours.
like Bo's one shot that was like. It's never a one shot.
It's never a one shot.
I remember when I made 3
There
rooms
are-
and I foolishly thought that
And
was
it's
the one
still-
shot.
Yeah.
Still not.
Yeah.
And it was 4 hours per room, and I was like, well, shit.
Right? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. God, yeah. I mean, there are so many people in this chat that I want to play D&D with. Like right now I'm planning a made RPG game with like 13 players. I haven't said much about it because I've been like this. I'm like, I need to actually, yeah. Oh God.
I would be panicking.
I haven't set myself a deadline. I'm gonna have to. But yeah,
Right.
we did a charity
Yeah.
thing, and everybody who donated a certain amount to charity got a spot in Made RPG 2, which Made RPG number 1 was absolutely bonkers in the first
This
place.
needs to be like one of
Um,
those like tournament arcs where everyone just fights each other.
That's a good idea, and some of the that might work with what the inkling I've been working on with it. The idea I've been turning over in my brain. So I might have to. Yeah, that would be good. That would be a good one. Tournament arcs are my favorite. Just the maids murdering each other. Oh my goodness.
You guys.
Vinyl is right. A regular length one shot, but allow enough time for a long one shot. That's right. That's right. That's right.
God. Go, should I push the long rest button?
Yeah,
I
okay,
never
everybody
used
can
that.
take a
I
long
will
rest.
never
Yeah.
Find that on-
Where is that?
You have
You need to
it-
turn it on your character sheet.
Yeah, you have to have it
we
on.
Can, yeah, we can show you how after the stream, which we should end the stream. And we've got a lot of viewers from Mr. Sputnik hanging around. So why don't we send that love along? Let's see who's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see who's
Progressive
around.
raid party.
Progressive raid party. Let's try to find somebody who does a bit of D&D. Send them on to some
Right.
D&D. I see one person. I see two people. So you know what? Toddy Bear Contraire is streaming D&D. I'm gonna shout out Ghost is doing Dungeons and Dragons. Well done, Megan. I'm gonna shout out Voivode Kohutek, who is a fellow dungeon master. He does Dungeon Sports Coliseum. So it's like a, you know, Sandrine, when you're talking about like tournament arcs, I don't know how much story goes into Dungeon Coliseum, but it is like basically a tournament where, you know, the characters start at level 1, they fight some monsters in an arena, and then they level up from there. Really cool idea that he has. However, we do raid him a lot, and he's got a lot of viewers, so I'm shooting you a link for a little soft raid there. And what I'm thinking is, instead, we are going to raid Toddy Bear Contraire, who looks like he's doing some D&D prep, and he's got 3 viewers. So let's hit him with this big fat raid right here. And I've raided Toddy Bear a few times. Really cool dude. So, I like
Is that the message we're going with?
That's the message.
Oh my
That's the
Yes,
message.
that's what we're doing.
That's the message.
Aggressive raid
Yeah.
party is it?
Aggressive raid party.
I mean, that is what
Yeah.
ghost peppers do to your stomach. So
Mm,
That's true. It's true.
true.
Friends, I have had such a lovely evening. We did nothing that I planned, and it was everything that I could have hoped for.
That was my last session.
Ah,
Those are the best
man.
sessions, I swear.
I wanted to tune in on that, but I had to do planning for this session that I turned out to not have to do.
I got my
and I was
dice
just-
organized before the stream. Oh no,
Yeah.
I just moved them.
And I was just feeling like so tired and so unsocial, so I just sat out. But I'm gonna have to. Oh my goodness,
for sure.
I need to catch up on what's going on in your campaign. But friends, thank you so much for hanging out. We love you. We believe in you. Let's pass on our love to Toddy Bear Contraire, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.